We were down on the field. You and I were, John, before the game. From the hash marks to the sidelines, the field's in pretty good shape. Between the hash marks and in the red zone, that footing is going to get kind of treacherous. So keep an eye on that, because that could play a big role in how this game turns out.
And the running game for Mitchell, that's their strength. But as it was in that game 2 weeks ago, the running game wasn't the strength. There wasn't a whole lot of strength for the Mitchell offense. But until that fourth quarter, when they started to split Phillips out wide, throw passes, and that's where Phil Howard's got most of his yards. I mean, he had stat-wise had a pretty good game, probably the best game of the season, stat-wise, throwing the ball to Parker Phillips, as he ended up with 151 yards of total passing in that 5-11 performance. Governors have got to be able to stop the pass, but they can't expect the pass to come all night. They got to be able to stop the run, and Mitchell's got to expect to try and get the run going if they want to win this game.
Yeah, and Mitchell leans heavily on the run, and I think that's something that you're not going to see Mitchell go away from tonight. They have so far this year generated almost 90% of their total offense on the ground, just over 3,000 yards on the ground compared to a little over 400 in the air. And of those 400, little over 400 passing yards, about 160 came in the game against Pierre 2 weeks ago, primarily on 2 plays. And so what you're going to see out of Mitchell tonight undoubtedly is going to be a heavy emphasis on the run, and then Mitchell's got to figure out some way to shut down this Pierre offense. And again, tonight we're going to likely see a heavy dose of McGuire Rasky chasing a couple of single season records. He needs 14 points to tie, 15 points to break the single season scoring record for Pierre Governor football history, a little over 500 rushing yards away from breaking the single season rushing record. So 2 marks to keep in mind. And then also Reagan Bolwig with his next touchdown catch will break the career touchdown receiving record. So a couple hallmarks to keep in mind for Pierre Governor fans as we go through this game and hopefully the rest of the playoffs.
Running game is going to be the most important part of this game here today. 2 weeks ago, McGuire Rasky, 215 yards on the ground. Parker Phillips, 21 yards on the ground. We'll step aside for 2 minutes. We come back and we'll have our coaches conversation. We'll start with Coach Van Overshield, then go to Coach Steve Steele as you're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, John Winkler alongside Greg Dean as we are getting set for kickoff here on this chilly Thursday evening, but here in the press box, nice and warm, as the Governors are looking to defend their title for the third consecutive year, looking for that fourth straight state championship. And again, Greg, we're watching history for some of these, watching history being chased for some of these guys, including McGuire Rasky and Reagan Bullwig. But again, these two guys, their ultimate goal is to play next Friday. They don't want to be done here. They don't want to get the record and be done here tonight. They want to, even if they don't get the record, they want to move on to next Friday.
Yeah, and I think everything from now on is all about team goals. It's always been about team. I think they will tell you, whether it's Rasky, Bullwig, any of the other individuals and players, they will tell you it's all about team, and that's something that Coach Steele and the rest of this coaching staff just preach from the first day of fall camp when they go out to Oahe downstream all the way through the last play on the final game. And so this is a deal where they talk about team, they talk about team. It's all about team, and right now it's just one game, one quarter, one play at a time.
The Governors are going to be home, which could be the last time that they will be home here this year, as Yankton Douglas playing right now. Yankton was winning 7-0 the last time we had a check, which was nearing halftime. Mitchell Colonels are going to receive the football here, but if seeds hold true, the Governors would have to travel to Yankton next Friday in the state semifinal game. But of course, as you said, they got to get through here tonight, and Yankton's got to get past Douglas tonight.
Yeah, and we'll give you score updates on, and we'll focus primarily on 11 AA throughout the night, but probably at halftime we'll give you scores from the rest of the classes throughout South Dakota. The upside for us tonight is two of the games already started in 11 AA and are getting close to halftime. As we wait for the teams to break huddle and get ready for the kickoff, we'll give you a couple of quick score updates. Like John said, down in Yankton leads Douglas 7-0 midway through the second quarter, and in Brookings is all over Spearfish 45-0. 5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Huron and Sturgis also just about ready to kick off out at Woodle Field in Sturgis tonight. So for the road teams tonight in 11 AA, other than Mitchell, cross-state trips. Spearfish having to go to Brookings, Douglas having to go to Yankton, and Huron having to go to Sturgis.
Carson Fahey and Parker Phillips are back deep. The ball's on his tee. We are underway as Karsten Miller kicks it off to the far side. It is fielded and slipped and falling as one of the Colonel players, and then it's hit hard. And so right around the 26-7 yard line is where Mitchell will take over and start the ball game. As, again, the footing already came into an issue, trying to make a cutback, slip and didn't fall down, but got hit hard. So it'll be 1st and 10 from around the 23-yard line, where it'll be the Mitchell Colonels to get their first possession, as Tucker Vilhauer will be the starting quarterback for this Mitchell Colonel team. He has Nick Rubendahl, Adam Fahey, Nick Kendall Fick, Wyatt Winter, and Ben Zybarth on the line. Bill Hart's going to look to pass on the first down. A quick throw. The catch is going to be made, and a first down quickly for the Mitchell Colonels. That is Riley Johansson who makes the catch, and Johansson's all the way down to around the 47-yard line, and a big gain of 24 to open up the ball game.
And again, just I'm sure this is one of the wrinkles that we probably will see out of the Colonels, probably catching the Governors a little flat-footed, utilizing the passing game, just a short crossing route for Johansson on the first play of the game, and just nice run and catch for the Colonels. Pretty easy catch right across the middle, about 10 yards downfield. And Johansson's a big kid, checks in at 6'6", 215, so an easy target. Caught over the middle of the Governor's second level.
3 down lineman for the Pierre Governors. Vilhauer is going to take the ball to the left on a design keeper. They'll try and cut it back. He's past midfield. He's out to the 45-yard line before he gets run out of bounds. So a big gain there for Tucker Vilhauer on his first carry of the ball game. And right now, Mitchell, first two plays, this is exactly how you want to start this game. They're right around the 45-yard line in Pierre Governor territory already.
Yeah, and if Mitchell keeps finding success, very reminiscent of how the game started 2 weeks ago, where Mitchell took, I think it was like a 6-play drive initially after they took the opening kickoff, went right down and put 6 points on the board.
A handoff trying to go up the middle are the Colonels, and a A small gain from the 45 on the left-hand side towards the Mitchell side to the right-hand side, as it was Grossdidier that got the handoff. He picks up maybe one or a long two here for the Mitchell Colonels and going into third down. No Parker Phillips on that the first three plays so far, which is kind of rare for this Mitchell Colonel team.
Yeah, Phillips really the bell cow for this team through the first 6 games, over 1,200 yards rushing in the first 6 games, but in the last 3, just under 150.
Third and 2, handoff for Phillips. He's going to get to the outside. He's going to get first down. He's at the 40, kind of trying to cut it back to the 35. He's going to be pushed out of bounds right around the 35-yard line. So Phillips gets a handoff on cue, and he picks up about 9 yards for the Colonels and a first down.
Yeah, just a straight handoff, and Phillips got to the edge in 4th play of the game before Phillips touches the ball, but good positive yardage for him as he gets to the edge around the far side of the Governor formation, and before he's pushed out of bounds on the far side by number 88 Cord Ellis, the Governor safety.
He didn't have 9 yards until his 5th run of the game, as they'll try reverse here. Phillips, he's out to the right side. He's going to block. He's out to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, 5. He dives for the pylon, and he is going to be out of bounds or in the end zone for a touchdown. And Mitchell Colonels have a 5-play drive, and they get on the board first. 35-yard run for Parker Phillips. And Mitchell, just like they did 2 weeks ago, start out in a quick drive and take the lead.
Yeah, and that was just a counter play to Phillips as Vilhauer took the snap out of the pistol and went to his left. Phillips came back and had a nice hole on the near side, and once he got through that first level, then it was just a foot race to the pylon, and Cord Ellis tried hard to get him out of bounds just before he got to the end zone, but Phillips was able to sneak it across, and with the extra point being good, Mitchell's up 7-0 with 10:17 to go here in the first quarter.
It is a 7-0 lead for the Mitchell Colonels. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. For the first time since 2018, the Pierre Governors are trailing in a playoff football game, and it comes on the first drive, a 5-play, 77-yard drive. It was a 35-yard run for Parker Phillips, and the Mitchell Colonels are up on the board first. And they took not even 2 minutes off the clock, a minute and 43 seconds, minute and 43 seconds, I should say, off the clock for the Colonels. McGuire Raskey, Brock Mosier back deep as the kickoff from the Mitchell Colonels. It's going to be a short kick, fielded and bobbled. I believe that's Colin Bergman. He's going to get to the 35-yard line, tried to run over the kicker, and it'll be down around the 40-yard line for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, and if Brueggemann's able to sidestep the kicker, he's got a lot of green space in front of him. But Brueggemann's the kind of kid who's more likely to run over top of you than try to sidestep you, and that's exactly what he tried to do to Joe Hayden, the 5'11", 140-pound kicker, and a battle he won, but Hayden was able to get enough of him to get him on the ground.
So here's Lincoln Keenals for the Pierre Governors in the pistol formation. Handoff for McGuire Raskey. He's going to stutter step at the line. He's going to pick up about 3 yards. 4 yards to the 44, and it's going to be second and around a long 6 here for McGuire Raskey, who's got now with another 2 yards, will have 1,300 yards in the season, almost 200 attempts and 1,300 yards. He's averaging 6.7 yards a carry, 24 touchdowns on the ground with a couple more receiving touchdowns. He has found the end zone nearly 30 times here this year. Here's a second and long 6 from McGuire Raskey to get handoff again. He sidesteps one man. He's going to get around the 50-yard line. It's going to be close to the first down marker. Should be enough for a first down. A gain of a long 6 from McGuire Raskey, and a first down for the Governors.
Yeah, and one of the things we talked about last week is just how consistent McGuire Raskey has been this year. He's up over 1,300 yards rushing so far now in just his 9th game of the season. At the start of his 9th game of the season, still has yet to crack a run longer than 26 yards.
Which is still just one of those mind-boggling stats for a guy that has just continued to run all season long. Here's Rasky again. He gets hit first and taken down. That is going to be number 56 on the tackle, and Adam Fahey that got to him first. And it'll be gain of 2 for Rasky. And again, this is probably what we're going to see for the Pierre Governor, especially in this first drive. Get Rasky going, make him feel pretty good. They're going to split him out wide here for an empty backfield, but it doesn't take out the run because Lincoln Keenels has been running the ball well as of late, too. 2nd and 8 from the 48-yard line in Mitchell Governor territory. 8:45 left to go in the first quarter. And Keenels will take it on a design run. Up to the right side, he's going to dive forward. He's going to be a good third and manageable here for the Governors as he gets to about the 42-yard line. So a gain of 6, and it's going to be 3rd and 2 here for the Governors.
Yeah, and 2 weeks ago, Lincoln Keenholz had his best game of the year as he had right around 200 yards passing and coupled that with over 100 yards rushing. So I'm sure that Coach Steele and the rest of the staff is looking for him to maybe not duplicate that effort, but at least have something similar tonight. If he can, that'll put the Governors in a good situation.
Little shovel pass for McGuire Rasky. He gets to the right side, but he's not going to get a first down. He's going to go backwards. He tried to get moving forward again, so his forward progress was stopped behind the 45-yard line, and this is a tough spot here for where the Governors are going to be. It looks like they might punt the ball away because where they're at, they are just they're too far away. It's going to be a loss of about 3 to 4 yards for McGuire Rasky, and it's 4th and 7, and now it's a punting situation where they're sitting at just past the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and just on that shovel pass, just a play where Rasky just could not get to the edge and could contain on the far side by the Mitchell Colonel defense and really wrapped him up, and he didn't have anywhere to go.
Lincoln Keenels almost slipped and fell on the punt attempt, but it's a good punt all the way back to around the 15-yard line, and a quick tackle. It looks like Brock Mosier got over there first along with Reagan Bolwig, and a flag is going to be down. So, and that one's on right around where the tackle was made, just a couple of yards away from where the tackle was made. So we'll wait to see what the official will say is going to be for the penalty. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Mitchell, regardless, as that one was well after the punt.
Block in the back, number 16, right.
So it is the quarterback, Tucker Vilhauer, had a block in the back, and it'll push them, the Colonels, back very far into their own territory. And this is what the Pierre Governors have got to find a stop here. You don't want to go down 2 scores. Granted, the offense can come back from a 2-score deficit, but you don't want to go back, especially in the playoffs, down 2 scores.
Yeah, and what the Governors did really well last time was they did a nice job bottling up Parker Phillips and held him to his season low. I think it was around 20 yards rushing last time. He's already exceeded that here in his first 2 carries of the first quarter.
From the 9-yard line, Vilhauer will keep it himself. He is hit and driven back and driven down. 2 points on a wrestling takedown for McGuire Rasky. But it's going to be 2nd down and long for the Mitchell Colonels. Maybe a gain of 2 for Vilhauer.
Yeah, and an assist to Cord Ellis on the play. We've talked about Ellis. He gives really good run support coming up from his safety position. But that was just a play where Vilhauer, just on a kind of a delayed run, design keeper up the middle. But McGuire Rasky really had that thing snuffed out well and just drove Vilhauer back into the ground.
2nd and 8, so Vilhauer's going to look to pass. He pump fakes. Now he throws. The catch is going to be made on the sideline and getting out of bounds near the first down marker, but I think it's going to be just short. And the Colonels have 3rd down and short.
Yeah, pass to Phillips. And again, Phillips coming out of the backfield. I think he was in the slot, and we found out 2 weeks ago that that's a dangerous position for Phillips to be in, and the Colonels have shown that they have a willingness to pass here in the opening half of this first quarter.
So it's 3rd and 1 here from the 18-yard line for the Mitchell Colonels on their own 18-yard line. A handoff for Phillips, trying to pick up that 1 yard. Looks like he's going to pick up that yard, getting past the 20-yard line. It's going to be enough for a first down to get to the 22 as he was able to carry a little bit. Actually, that was Gross-Didier that got the handoff. So your big boy coming in for the 3rd down run, and that's a smart move by Coach Joe Van Overshield, or Ken Van Overshield.
And Gross-Didier, kind of more of kind of a designated short yardage goal line back, 6'1", 190 pounds. So he gets a lot of the ugly work going in between the tackles and let Phillips do the dash work to the outside.
Bill Hauer is going to hand off for Phillips. He's going to try to get to the edge on the left side. He spins around, but he's going to be dropped back around the 20-yard line. He's going to lose a couple here in the first. Good play there for the Pierre Governors to get a loss, as it'll be Phillips the loss of about 3 back to the 19-yard line.
Yeah, that was that same play that Mitchell scored their touchdown on, only just running the other way. Bill Hauer comes to the near side this time, tries and hands the ball off to Phillips, going the opposite direction toward the far sideline on the counter, and the Governors, the far side of that Governor defense had that play pretty well secured, and now we've got an official timeout. I think we got an equipment issue for Josh Rouse. Does not look like he has to come out of the game, which is a big plus. He anchors the middle of that Governor defense really well.
Second and a long 13 here, 5:28 to go in the first quarter. Vilhauer's going to look to pass. He's going to throw over the middle, looking for Johansson. He's going to throw it too long, and it'll fall incomplete. As, again, Johansson made that first catch for 25 yards to open up the play, but it'll be 3rd down and 14 here for the Mitchell Colonels. And this is a play that the Governors are going to find their defense to get off the field and get their offense back on.
Yeah, Colonel's already thrown the ball 3 times, 2 completions. That's that for what do you got down there, John? 32 yards. That's been a full game worth of passing attempts, completions, and yardage, and a lot of times for him this year.
3rd and a long 13 from the 19-yard line. 5:22 to go. They're going to bunch everybody up with the reverse over to Phillips. He's going to be wrapped up. Rasky, he's going to get hit hard. A flag is going to come in, though, and that's right around where that hit was made. So we got to be careful that it might be a penalty on the Governors. And it could be a hold, could be – it's going to be – let's see what the official call is, because it could keep Mitchell on the field if it's going to be a personal foul on the Governors. Of course, referee's trying to get himself to get the mic turned on.
Hold. 86 points.
It'll be on the Colonels, and that's got to be declined. And the Governors will gladly decline that penalty. And it'll be 4th down, and no gain on that play from Phillips. So it's 4th down and long. Governors got off the field.
Yeah, just a good defensive stand for the Governors, and let's see if they can make hay out of taking over the ball. They should get this ball in really good field position, potentially even in plus territory on the Mitchell Colonel side of the field.
Low snap and the kick. Oh, now the flag or a whistle is going to come in, and a flag here on the near side. And we'll see what the looks like.
Defensive encroachment. Offsides on black.
So it'll be now 4th down and 9, and they'll have to re-kick.
4th and a long 9 for the Colonels. Ball is in 21.
So it's not the worst penalty at that point, but one where Vilhauer didn't really get a whole lot of that punt. He was actually pretty close to actually having a knee on the ground when he got the snap, which would have been huge for the Governors to take over right there. So here's another chance to punt the ball away. Then Vilhauer is going to get a much better punt, but it's going to be fielded by Rasky. Or Trey Lewis around the 45-yard line. It'll get past the 50, and the Governors are going to have good field position around the 48-yard line. So this is a good start for the Governors, and they got to find a way here to tie this ball game up. 5 minutes to go here in this first quarter, and they trail 7-0 here in the first round of the Class 11 AA playoffs.
Yeah, and so we talked about in the pregame that this has been a Governor team that has struggled in the first quarter just about every game this year, and we'll see if they can get off the snide here on the second possession of the game.
Pistol formation, receiver on each side. Keenel's going to look to pass for the first time. He's going to throw for Bullwig. He's going to juggle a one-handed catch, and it's going to drop incomplete. And one that's Bullwig thinks he should have had. Keenel's probably saying he should have had a better throw, and it's going to be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and just an out route for Bullwig coming out of the tight end position off to the far side of the field. Actually had a crossing route coming from Aaron Booth on the far side in a split end position, and if Bullwig makes that catch, Booth maybe has a chance to hit a block and spring Bullwig.
2nd and 10 from the 49-yard line. Design run for Lincoln Keenel. He's going to try and get to the edge here on the the near side. He's going to get around the 46-yard line, so a gain of a couple, and it's going to be third down and long. We'll call it the 47, so a gain of just 2 for Lincoln Kenols. And this is a big third down here, one for the Mitchell Colonel defense, but also for this Governor offense, who just have not had anything going for them yet.
Yeah, and they just have not been able to find that consistency so far. Had the one first down in the first possession, but just have not been able to chew off big chunks of yardage like they have been used to this year.
Kenols will look to pass again. He'll throw for Bullwig. The catch is made. He shakes off the tackler. He's got a first down, and the big man Bullwig will get all the way down to around the 35-yard line. Booth kind of got wrapped up and tackled on top of Bullwig, or tackled underneath Bullwig, but Reagan Bullwig will have a big gain of 12 and a first down for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, just that same play that they tried to run earlier in this series, where Bullwig just hits an out route out of his tight end position, and Booth comes out from his split end position, comes on a post, and they cross in the middle, and that time Bullwig makes the catch and was able to get the first down.
Kenols again on a design run. He'll dive forward to about the 29-yard line. A gain of 6 for Kenols, and that's a play where it looked like there was really nothing that Kenols was going to get out of that, but the dive and the quick speed that Kenols has out of the empty backfield picks up 6 yards, and it's second down and manageable.
Yeah, and Kenols doesn't need a real big hole. He checks in at about 162, 175, and so he's not a real wide kid, and so he doesn't need a real big hole to fit through, and just found a little bit of a crease that time, was able to get 6 yards out of the play.
2 receivers out to the left side, 2nd and 4, 3:13 to play here in the first quarter. Kenols again design run. He's going to put his hand on the back of an offensive lineman, and he's going to get to around the 24-yard line, a gain of 5 and a first down for the Pierre Governors, as Lincoln Kenols picks it up there all by himself on those 2 plays.
Yeah, and the Governors are finding some success running and finding kind of a soft spot in the middle of that Mitchell defensive line.
A pistol formation, receiver on each side for the Governors. Handoff for McGuire Rasky, his first touch on this drive. He's going to try and bounce it to the outside, trying to slip through a tackler, and he's going to go a long ways to that far sideline to get to the 19-yard line. And again, right around the 20-yard line, another gain there, a big gain there for McGuire Rasky, where it looked like he was just going to get stuffed for nothing.
Yeah, and Rasky comes up hobbling just a little bit after that run. I hope it's certainly, as a Governor fan, hope it's nothing that's going to inhibit him throughout the rest of this game. But Governor's putting together a nice little drive here as they're down inside the red zone after taking over right around midfield after taking over from the punt.
2nd and 5 for the 20. Pistol formation again. Kenols will keep. He will option it over to Rasky. Good option from Kenols. Rasky makes one man miss. He's inside the 10 for a first down, and it's going to be 1st and goal for the Governors. Kenols got hit late, but a great catch from Kenols. He took a hit to make that play, and a gain of 13 for McGuire Rasky to pick up 1st and goal for the 7.
Yeah, and just a speed option. The Governors operate with only one back in the backfield, so there's no dive back on that option play, and just a speed option to the left side. And like you said, Kenols held that ball until the very last second before he pitched it, and it was a good decision to get rid of it and allowed Rasky to get the first down.
Rasky on the first down and goal. Carey will not get anything. He might have lost a yard or so, and it's going to be 2nd and goal from around the maybe 8-yard line, a loss of 1. They lost it 2 for McGuire Rasky. And it'll be 2nd down and goal for the Governors. 1:30 left to play here in the first quarter. Trying to tie the ball game up. Mitchell leads 7-0 here in the first quarter. They had their first drive just like they did 2 weeks ago, went right down the field and scored. Governors are trying to answer here after having a punt on their first drive. They got forced Mitchell to punt. And now they got 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. Empty backfield here for Kenols. He'll look to pass. He's going to get flushed out of the pocket. He's going to throw to the end zone off of his back foot, and it's going to take one hop into Reagan Bullwig. So it's now 3rd down and goal from the 8-yard line.
Yeah, and Keenholz got flushed out of the pocket and was moving to his right, and actually Bullwig was breaking open in the back of the end zone toward the back far pylon, and I think if Keenholz stops and sets his feet, he gets a little more of a fastball delivery on that play. He just underthrew Bullwig just a little bit, and it fell incomplete.
3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. A receiver on each side. Keenholz is going to look to pass again. He's going to throw for Bullwig. The diving catch is made, but he's not in the end zone. Colin Brueggemann makes that catch, but he's not in the end zone. So it's now 4th and goal from around the 1 yard line. And maybe going to go with the special package here, the goal line package for the 2 yard line. A gain of 5 there for Brueggemann. Maybe the Governors are going to try and go quick. They're going to go with the wild gov formation with McGuire Rasky. He's going to take the snap. He's going to try and get in. He's going to be stuffed at the goal line. Rasky's not going to get in, and the Governors don't score as he was hit in the backfield, and the Governors are going to have a goal line stand. Or excuse me, the Colonels are going to have a goal line stand, and they keep the lead with 31 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, Adam Fahey comes out of his near side outside linebacker position and just really blew that play up in the backfield. It was just a direct snap to Rasky out of what you call the wild gov formation. He just was trying to go right behind the center of that offensive line, and that's a play they have run to some success earlier in the year. But Fahey just came in off the edge and took Rasky down, and unfortunately for the Govs, they come up empty on their second drive, and now looks like we got a Mitchell timeout.
With 31 seconds left, and this is, they're gonna take that timeout. It's not a bad spot to be at because you're coming out of a turnover on down, so sometimes you're saying, well, you gotta know what you're gonna call, but it's 1st and 10 from their own 2 yard line. If they don't pick up a good chunk of yards or just get out of the end zone, it's going to make things difficult on 2nd and 3rd down, and could force a safety, and the Governors then could get points to the board and get the ball back.
Yeah, but if there's a team that probably can operate as well as anybody with their back up against the goal line, it's a team like the Mitchell Colonels who are very run heavy, and so they have found success running the ball a lot this year. So it would not surprise me if you see Vilhauer, Grostadier, they're two bigger backs, or maybe try to just punch something up the middle, or actually try to get Phillips to the outside and see if he can generate something once he gets to the edge.
The 1st and 10 from the 2 yard line coming out of the timeout. Could be the final play here in the first quarter with just 31 seconds to go. The Governors might be trailing at the end of the first quarter for the 2nd straight week. As Vilhauer from the shotgun, and he gets the Governors to jump, although Brueggemann was saying that it was on Mitchell.
Encroachment against defense at the 5 yard penalty.
But it is on the Governors, and that's, we saw this a couple weeks ago when they played Brookings. They got the offside penalty against them, and then Brookings was able to take advantage of that. It was 1st and 5. I believe it was on the 2 yard line again, and they got the 5 yard penalty, get them out of the end zone, and then scored on the next play. And there's a flag coming in after the handoff was to Grostadier, and he'll get a couple of yards, but it'll be a hold. Would assume, though, it should be a hold on the Colonels, and it's going to put them right back to where they pretty much were.
Hold. Number 67, White.
After this is the goal. Kendall Fick, the center, gets called for that hold on the Colonels. And so that's going to put them around the 4 yard line or so. And so to be 1st down and 8. Boy, a 1st and 8, you don't hear that very often. Yeah, outside of maybe 1st and goal from the 8, but 1st down and 8, you just don't hear about.
Yeah, and flag came in from the umpire who is positioned right by the middle linebacker, and so his main responsibility as an official is just to watch that offensive line. So if that flag comes in, you can just about guarantee 9 times out of 10 that it's going to be a hold.
Vilhauer is going to try and get out of the end zone. He's going to be hit hard, and it's going to be 2nd down, and that should take us to the end of the first quarter, as it was Cord Ellis that got over to him first, and it'll be maybe 2nd down and 6 from the 5 yard line. Maybe call it 2nd and 5 from the 6 yard line. But will take us to the end of the first quarter. 7-0 lead for the Mitchell Colonels after 1. Back in a minute. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. It is a 7-0 lead for the Mitchell Colonels as we head to the second quarter. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And the Colonels right now, really nobody's got the upper hand in terms of really starting to gain a lot of yards. But the Mitchell Colonels have the upper hand because they're winning 7-0 right now.
Yeah, and the Governor defense, other than that first drive, has actually done a good job in really bottling up this Mitchell Colonel offense again so far.
Vilhauer will hand off, and it'll be up the middle. It's going to be third down here and manageable for the Colonels, as it was Gross Didier that got the handoff. He's going to be right around the 13-yard line. So a gain of 7. Actually, it is a good for a first down. So it is first and 10 from the 13-yard line. Gross Didier got 12 yards on 3 carries so far, and he's picked those 12 yards have been all hard-earned for Gross Didier.
Yeah, they've, like we said, he's kind of the short yardage goal line type back, and his job is to take that ball and run between the tackles, and he's been pretty effective so far tonight.
11.5 to play here in the first half. Vilhauer, he'll hand off for Phillips. He slips through one tackler, is trying to fight through another one, but Phillips is going to maybe pick up a yard or so after that first down run, and maybe just got back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be second down for the Colonels. We'll call it no. They'll lose 2 yards. Be second and 12.
Yeah, and Phillips just on a straight handoff up the middle, tried to bounce it to the outside, and almost was able to get away from a couple of Governor arm tackles before he was swarmed by a couple of other Governor defenders on the left side, and fortunately the Governors were able to get him on the ground, because we've talked about how explosive Phillips can be. He can score from just about any point on the field every time he touches the ball.
Vilhauer looked to pass, a throw. Johansson's got the catch. He's got a first down. He's going to be shoved out of bounds around the 25-yard line, a gain of 14. And Johansson has picked up 2 catches here so far in this first half. He's got 39 yards on those 2 catches.
Yeah, and last year when the Governors played in Mitchell, the Colonels had a hard time moving the ball in the first half, and so the Colonels made a change at halftime, brought Vilhauer at that time. He was just a sophomore, brought him in to play quarterback in the second half, and he and Johansson had several connections. And Johansson's a big target, like we said, at 6'6".
They're going to go with Phillips on a counter play, and he'll be knocked down right at the 25-yard line. No gain for the Colonels. Lincoln Keenels was in on the tackle, as along with Josh Rouse. Is second down and 10. Maybe gain of an inch on that play for Phillips.
Yeah, Governors tonight wearing their black home uniforms, black tops, green pants, white numbers, green helmets. For the Colonels, they are in all white with black numbers, black helmets with yellow numbers on the side.
Second and 10 for the 25, 9:55 to go here in the first half. Power's going to look to pass. He's going to air it out and go deep, and it's going to be off the fingertips and dropped for not even really dropped, just off the fingertips and incomplete, as it would be third down and 10.
Yeah, and just Phillips out of that slot position on the far side, running a wheel route, but tonight McGuire Rasky out of his far side linebacker position, stride for stride with Phillips all the way down the field, and luckily for the Governors, that was a nice ball thrown by Vilhauer. Probably and we've seen him throw some nice balls when the Colonels and the Governors have matched up over the last couple of years. That one just outside of Phillips's reach.
Third down and 10. Vilhauer's going to roll to his right, trying to keep it himself and try to pick up that first down. He's past the 35-yard line where he's got to get enough for a first down. He's going to have enough for a first down. On third and 10, they run the football with Vilhauer, and they pick up maybe 11. And it's enough for a first down. Yep, a gain of 11 for Vilhauer.
Yeah, and that's kind of the old student body right. I mean, just a direct snap to Vilhauer, and he goes out with a lead guard going around the far side, along with a couple of backs in front of him, and the Governors were not able to keep contained. And once Vilhauer got to the edge, he's got good speed, and he runs hard and is able to get a first down on that 3rd and 10 play.
First and 10, 9:39 to go here in the first quarter. Vilhauer's going to keep it himself right up the middle. and Cord Ellis is able to make a touchdown-saving tackle, ran straight into Vilhauer, but he ran right through the teeth of the defense of the Governors, and he picks up 12 yards for a first down, and they're getting inching closer to the 50-yard line, still in their own territory.
Yeah, and an option play for the Colonels on that play. Vilhauer had Phillips coming to the near side and was kind of riding him in on an option on an alley and just pulled the ball out of Phillips's stomach at the very last second because he saw a hole open up the middle and was able to get that first down yardage on that play.
Already the ninth play of the drive, they haven't crossed midfield yet. So handoff for Gross-Didier. He's wrapped up, and he's going to be thrown down. A good play there from the Pierre Governors. As Gross-Didier is not going to get much of anything. Didn't see who it was that got the hand on maybe right around the jersey of Gross-Didier, but it's no gain. It's second down and 10.
I think it was Preston Taylor out of the nose tackle position was able to get a big paw on Gross-Didier and slow him up enough where he got some help from the rest of the Governor defense. But Governor's got to rise up here, even though the Colonels, like you said, have not crossed midfield yet on this 10-play drive so far. They are driving and they are running an effective running game against the Governors tonight.
Second and 10, play action, a little dump off on a screen pass. The catch is going to be made for Van Overshield, and he'll get past the 50-yard line. He's from the 48 to the 47 now, the Pure Governors. A gain of 5, and it's going to be third down and 5.
Yeah, we saw 2 weeks ago that the Colonels had some success in running the ball with Van Overshield out, and he's a strong young man. He's kind of built like a little bowling ball, and if he ever gets ahead of steam, he's going to be tough to bring down. But Colin Brueggemann right there snuffed out that screen pass, was able to get him on the ground.
Another counter for Phillips. Is he going to try and get to the edge? He'll be pushed out of bounds. Does he have enough? I don't believe he's got enough for a first down. Maybe he picked up 4, and this is going to be an interesting call here for the Colonels. Do you give 3 on the play? They give up 3, so it's 4th and 2. And if you go for it, you pick it up, drive continues. That's all good. If you don't get it, though, the Governors are right around their own 45-yard line to start the next drive, try to tie it up. It looks like Mitchell right now is going to go. They're going to go for it here.
Yeah, and I think this is probably a good call if you're the Mitchell Colonels. You've been able to run the ball fairly effectively, especially on third down so far tonight, and they need a long 2 in order to pick up this first down from the Governor 45.
Vilhauer, he's got a big package in there. Gross-Didier's going to get the handoff, but a flag's going to come in here, I believe. And it looks like it's going to be on the It's going to be false start on the Colonels. So that's going to back him up 5 yards. That's now 4th and 7. And that now maybe changes it will change the play that you're going to run. It looks like now Mitchell's sending out the punting unit to put this one away because they're at their own 50-yard, I guess at the Governor's side of the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and that penalty changed the whole complexion of that fourth down play. Fourth and 7 plus is a whole different situation, especially with the ball sitting in midfield. And so the Colonels elect to punt. Probably a good decision right now for Coach Van Overshield.
As Vilhauer is the punter, and he will punt it away. It'll be a line drive punt. Didn't get all of it, did Vilhauer, but it'll be for the Pierre Governors right around their own 25-yard line, 20-yard line, where they will take the next possession. Great. That was an 11-play drive that resulted in a punt from the 50-yard line. That was a long drive that only got to the 50-yard line. Yeah, 11 plays, 48 yards. They took over on their own too, and chewed a lot of time off the clock. We're down to 7:35 here left in the second quarter. Mitchell leading 7-0, but we'll see if the Governors can respond here midway through the second quarter. They've had one good drive. Now they need to put another one together right here. Lincoln Keenels look to pass here on first down. He's going to throw for Bullwick. He makes the catch. He can't make the one guy miss. It'll be first down and 10 here for the Pierre Governors. Excuse me, that's Jack Merquan that made the catch. And he's out to the 50-yard line, a gain of 19 for Jack Merquan. Excuse me, 29 for Jack Merquan.
Yeah, and if Jace Larson, the corner for the Colonels, does not make a shoestring tackle, Merquan goes coast to coast and goes about 80 yards on that play.
Empty backfield here for Keenels. So he's going to keep it himself for the 50-yard line. He's going to try and dive forward. He's going to get to the 46, a gain of 4 for Keenels. And it'll be second down and 6. And, it seems like when the Governors want to go fast, it usually has that design run for Lincoln Keenholz.
Yeah, and again, nice pickup on first down. They got 4, just enough to make it second and medium. And again, Governor showing, again, some continued signs of life on offense. What they need to do right now is they need to put some points on the board out of this drive.
2nd and 6 from the 46, 6:40 to go here in the first half. Handoff for McGuire Raskey. He finds a hole. He's got up for a first down. The strength of McGuire Raskey will keep pushing forward. Some of the offensive linemen, Colin Bergman, Gunnar Gehring, they're all there to help push him a little farther, and he's out to the 33-yard line, a gain of 14 for McGuire Raskey.
And you can just kind of feel that the momentum has turned a little bit here on this drive. The Governors walking with a little more pep in their step and are having some success going right up the middle against this Mitchell Colonel defense.
Raskey finds a hole. He's got enough for a first down again, still trying to get forward, but he's going to get knocked down inside the 20-yard line. The Governors are in the red zone to around the 16, a gain of 16 for McGuire Raskey.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about how valuable Raskey is to this offense, and he just does not go down on first contact, and he's shown that in the last 2 plays.
And there he does get hit on the first bit of contact and ends up getting tripped up and falling down. So it's going to be second down. He still picked up a couple yards. And it'll be a second down and 8 from around the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Raskey just, he's not the biggest kid. He's only about 5'10", probably about 180 pounds, but he runs as hard as anybody you'll see in a Pierre Governor uniform.
McGuire Raskey again on 2nd and 8. He's going to get inside the 10 near the first down marker, and it looks like maybe that you're going to have enough for a first down. Maybe picked up those 8 yards. Should be first and goal here. They might measure it too. Did he get those 8 yards or not? It looks like we're going to call for the measurement here. We're going to see exactly if McGuire Raskey got to that first down marker. But it'll be third and very short if he didn't with 5:32 to go here in the first half.
We'll do a couple quick score updates from the rest of 11AA out in Sturgis. Midway through the second quarter, Huron leads the Scoopers 6-0. Yankton, midway through the third quarter, leads Douglas 14-0. And early in the third quarter, Brookings continues to shut out Spearfish 45-0.
It is a gain of 8 for a first down for McGuire Raskey. And the Governors have first and goal again. The last time they were down here, they're on the other end of the field. Last time they had a goal-to-go situation, they were stuffed on fourth down. Now they're going to try and punch one in again to try and tie this game up, pending the extra point as well. But it's first and goal from the 7. 5:32 left to go here in the first half. Keenholz, he'll give for Raskey again, trying to slip through that offensive line. He is not going to get there through the defensive line. He's not going to get through it. And it'll be second and goal from around the 5-yard line.
Second and goal for the Govs.
Ben Zebarth and Adam Fahey corral Raskey that time for the Colonels after a gain of about 2. And again, the Governors just need to continue to chew up yardage, and they really need to get some points on the board here before halftime with 4:56 to go in the second quarter.
Keenholz will pitch it again for Raskey. He's going to try and get to the end zone. He dives. He gets hit into the end zone for a touchdown. McGuire Raskey from 6 yards out says an extra point away from tying this ball game up with 4:49 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, just that speed option for Raskey and Keenholz just comes down the line and waits until he feels some pressure, and then once he pitched that ball, Raskey just almost walked into the end zone. He did attract a couple of Mitchell defenders right at the goal line, but was able to power past him for the touchdown.
Carson Miller trying to tie it up. High snap, and it is going to be blocked for the Mitchell Colonels. So it is 7-6, and Mitchell leads by 1 with 4:49 to play here in the first half. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. The Governors had an 8-play drive that went around 77 yards and a 6-yard touchdown run for McGuire Raskey, and it has not tied the ball game up. The extra point was blocked, so it is 7-6 here for the Mitchell Colonels. And if you're Mitchell, with 4:49 left to go, you're going to try and take his probably about 4 minutes and 48 seconds off the clock and try and score on that last second to go the halftime with at least a one-score lead and try and put some more points on the board.
Yeah, the Governors have all 3 timeouts in their pocket, and what we have seen out of Coach Steele time after time is you get into these late second quarter situations. If the Governors can get the Colonels in second, third, and long, you may see Steele try to use one of those timeouts and try to get the ball back.
Phillips will slip through a tackler. He's out of the 40. He's going to try and cut it back, spin around, and that one might have cost him a few extra yards. He's going to get to the 44, 45-yard line. If he would have just kept moving, he might have been pick up a couple more. But it looks like there's a flag, though, at the end of the play. So where that's at, too, maybe the Governors are going to get called for something here. If not, maybe a hold on Mitchell. Wait to see what the official ruling is.
Yeah, that flag came in real late after the play was over, so this is likely some kind of personal foul and sportsmanlike conduct. I mean, it could be on either team. We'll see which way the officials rule.
As we have the referee mic'd up for the evening. It's a personal foul. He didn't. Maybe the mic wasn't on there. It's a personal foul on the Governor. So that's a 15-yard penalty that puts them from the Colonel 45 now to the Governor 40-yard line. So that's a huge penalty against the Governors and a real short field now for the Mitchell Colonels.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for the Governors because they had Phillips kind of bottled up back around the 20, between the 20 and the 30. He was able to slip out of a tackle, get some good yardage, and then the foul added another 15 yards on the end of that.
Bill Howard will get the gain of 5. Second and 5 here for the Colonels, as Bill Howard's up to 39 yards rushing through his 6 carries. 4:18 to go. 2nd and 5 from the 35, and the Colonels lead by 1 here late in the first half.
Yeah, and again, that was that option play where Vilhauer just rides Phillips as he's coming to the near sideline, and he pulled it at the last second and was able to find 5 yards up the middle. Yeah, just that counter play, and third time they've run that tonight, and they found success with that. That was what they scored the opening touchdown on, and so they will continue to utilize that play as long as that play is effective. And the Governors have just really not been able to find a consistent, effective answer to this Colonel running game tonight.
2nd and 4 from the 11-yard line. Grosstedier will get the handoff. He is hit immediately by Bullwig, and he goes down hard, and it'll be 3rd down and around 6 from around the 10-yard line. Maybe picked up that yard, so it's 3rd and 3 here on the 1-yard gain from the Mitchell running back.
And this is likely 4-down territory. Under 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter, with the Colonels leading 7-6. You got to figure that the Colonels smell, maybe, I don't know if they smell blood, but they certainly want to put a big score on the board here right before halftime. The Governors will get the ball to start the second half. But I'm sure Mitchell wants to do everything possible to put the Governors in as deep a hole as possible going into halftime.
3rd and 3, and Coach Kent Van Overshield's got to take a second time out. And I was going to say that too, with how the Colonels were driving in this drive here. Too quickly, where the Governors could have had plenty of time to go down, score, and get the second half kickoff, score again, and Mitchell's offense would have been feeling pretty good about themselves, but still somehow trailing by the next time they got the ball.
Yeah, and so this is a big couple of plays for the Governors right here. 3rd and 3, Colonels have the ball on the Governor 10-yard line, 2:30 to go before halftime. The Governors need a couple of big defensive stops right here to try to keep the Colonels out of the end zone. If they can do that, generate a little momentum, maybe even put a score up before halftime, and then get the ball to start second half. That's going to be what they need, but they just have not consistently been able to bottle up that Colonel rushing game tonight.
And the Governors got to find a way to get a stop here. And if you're Mitchell, might be 4-down territory. You might try a field goal here. You haven't had so much success here with the field goal this year, but this might be the time where a field goal could win or lose you a ball game if you decide to take or not take that field goal. Third and 3 coming out of the timeout. Shotgun formation for Vilhauer from the Governor 10-yard line. You're going to do an option. Vilhauer's going to keep it himself. He's going to dive, trying to get that first down. He was hit at the 10-yard line. He turned and then dove forward, and we'll see where that's going to be spotted at. Really, you're going to say you're going to go for it if it's fourth down, but it isn't enough for a first down. And it's first and goal here for the Mitchell Colonels from around the 6-yard line. A gain of 4 for Vilhauer.
Vilhauer just a little bit slow to get up after that play, and he's walking just a little bit gingerly. He took a big hit from the Governor defense on that play. We'll see if that plays into how the Colonels play this last set of downs.
Here is going to be Vilhauer's going to keep himself. A flag's going to come in right at the line of scrimmage as soon as the snap happened. And it'll be Preston Taylor was the last one to get up. I think he was the one that was held, and it should back him up 10 yards from the Mitchell Colonels. That's going to be a chop block for Mitchell Colonels.
Yeah, that play came in, like you said, John, almost immediately after the ball was snapped. So it almost came in too fast, and so it's not a surprise it's a chop block or block below the waist because that play came in so fast. I mean, the offensive line didn't even have time to get their hands up.
I was going to say the hold would have been pretty spectacular to be able to get your hands up that fast. So it's a 15-yard penalty. So it's now first and goal from the 21-yard line. 2:05 and counting to go. And maybe for Mitchell, with a 4-down territory here, this is probably the best case scenario because now you got 21 yards to work with and under 2 minutes to go, trying to score here late in the half. A quick throw for Phillips. Catch is going to be made. He's going to try and cut it back. He's going to be thrown down. The clock's going to continue to run. He did not get out of bounds, but Phillips is going to get around the 5-yard line again, and it'll be second and goal from around the 6-7. Gain of 14 for Parker Phillips.
Yeah, and Phillips just running an out route out of the slot, and we saw how effective he was in that slot 2 weeks ago, and so now Governor defense has got to rise up. Gave up 14 yards on that, 15 yards on that first play of this first and 21 goal to go drive for the Colonels.
Out to the right side, another flag comes in. He couldn't get to the goal line, but a flag again is down, and that where it's sitting at, it should back up the Colonels again with only 1:12 to go. And it's a hold on the Colonels. So that'll back them up 10 yards, and it's now second and goal from around the 16-yard line. And again, there's only 72 seconds left to go here in this first half. So again, if Mitchell can score, they're going to look at that and they're going to kind of throw that out in film because say, hey, we were able to take off as much time as we could because we kept backing ourselves up so we could score a little bit later.
Well, but if you're the Mitchell coaching staff right now, you're just really kicking the dirt because you've had 2 major penalties. I mean, you've had the ball inside the 10 twice now, and penalties have taken you back to first to the 21 and now to the 16.
So second and goal from the 16 now. Minute 12 left to go. Vilhauer's going to look to pass again. He's going to throw to the end zone. It's going to be up and tipped away and incomplete as that was Jake Beer able to make that play. That's a great play for the sophomore.
Yeah, and a great play from the 5'11" sophomore against the 6'6" Johansson. I mean, he gives up about 7 inches on that play and just really had him defended well and was able to step right in front of Johansson at the last second and break that pass up. And now you got the Colonels in third and goal to go from the 16 with 1:06 to go. And so now if the Governors can rise up and put a big stop up here, if you're the Colonels, maybe you think about going for the field goal here.
Vilhauer's going to try and pass again. Gunnar Gehring trying to get the sack. The throw's over, and it's going to be tipped and incomplete. Bolwig almost had that amazing interception, but it falls incomplete, and it's now fourth and goal from the 16-yard line.
Yeah, and again, looking for Johansson on an out route coming right up the seam and then breaking at the goal line toward the out. But he literally had 5 Governors around him. I mean, you talk about throwing into double or triple coverage. That time Vilhauer threw into quintuple coverage. I don't think I've ever heard that term before.
Well, and now the Colonels, they're going to go for it here on fourth down. They're going to go for the end zone. If you're the Governors, you got to steal off that end zone here. And Coach Nas trying to get the fans into this one. Fourth and goal from the 16-yard line. Vilhauer to pass one more time. He's going to try and float it for Phillips to the end zone. Up, and it's going to be falling incomplete. And a flag comes in at the goal line. And it will be a pass interference called on Reagan Bolwig. And Coach Steve Steele going to try and plead the case for Bolwig.
Yeah, and that was a play where Phillips had a couple of steps on Bolwig, and Bolwig was just trying to recover at the very end of that play. He didn't turn around, and because of that, the pass interference flag came in because he did get a hand on Phillips right before the ball arrived, and so unfortunately for the Governors, it's going to be half the distance of the goal line. It's still going to be 4th down. So it's only, but instead of being 4th and 16, now it's going to be 4th and 8.
The 54-yard line, and Bolwig tried to wait as long as he could to make any kind of contact with Phillips, got his hands up, and just couldn't quite get there without any contact. So it's now 4th and goal from the 8, 54 seconds to go here in the first half. Another 4th down. 3 different penalties on this goal-to-go situation for the Colonels. 4th and goal from the 8. 54 left to go in the first half. Bill Howard's going to hand off for Phillips. Going to try to get to the edge here on the near side. Phillips to the end zone. Did he get in? I think they're going to spot him at the 1-yard line, and the Governors got the goal line stand. They're going to talk about it. Nobody's made a call yet. They're going to talk about it. 4th and goal from the 1. Or excuse me, 1st and goal for the 1 for the Governors. They did not get it. Mitchell did not get in. The Governors going to tackle on the goal line.
Yeah, we still have not gotten a signal, and the officials are still talking. And we got a flag.
Hold. Okay, so now we got to say if Steele goes, well, Steele's got to get it out of the end zone, but if it's a hold and they didn't get in the end zone, they did get in the end zone. Okay, it wasn't going to be a touchdown, but there was a hold, so it's going to back him up. That's why Steele's not going to accept the penalty. I thought, because all of a sudden the referee started to say it's going to go this way, but I guess it says they're going to back it up.
What a crazy sequence to end the second quarter. 47 seconds to go. 4 penalties on this goal-to-go sequence. 3 against the Colonels, 1 against the Governors. 4th and 20 from the Governor 20. What do the Colonels have in their bag of tricks now?
Bill Howard, again, he's going to hand off for Phillips. They're going to go for a halfback pass. He was wide open, but they couldn't make the throw. The ball's on the ground. The Governors are going to get the ball just past the 20-yard line, and the Governors get the defensive stand. My goodness, what an incredible last 3 minutes of this game. I mean, this has just been wild, and the Governors get the goal line stand. Whew. Take a deep breath after this one.
Yeah, and Phillips, we talked about what did they have in their bag of tricks? Well, their bag of tricks was a halfback pass, and I think they had number 2. And Phillips just held the ball just a fraction of a second too long, and that allowed Jake Mayer to recover, and then Phillips just held on to the ball and was put on the ground by the Governor defense.
Quick throw from McGuire Rasky on this first down play. Rasky's going to try and slip through a tackler. He's still going. He's going to cut it back, and McGuire Rasky's out to the 40, to the 45, 50. He is out of bounds around the 45-yard line with 28 seconds to go, and the Governors have the clock stopped. And McGuire Rasky, I don't know how he got through it, but he was able to get a big play off that down pass.
Yeah, just a swing pass from Keenholz to Rasky, and what he's able to do is he actually cut the ball back into the middle of the field. Governors have 3 timeouts yet, and got out of a couple of arm tackles, then cut to the outside, and then it was just a foot race, and Riley Johansson knocked him out of bounds on the Colonel 46-yard line.
Gain of 34 on that play. Keenholz again looking to pass. He's going to throw over the middle. The catch is going to be made, and a first down. Jack Merkwan's got the catch. And again, the Governors have all 3 timeouts. So they're going to take one here. 21 seconds, and a great job by Lincoln Keenholz. There's 28 seconds left to go. So you're going to sit there and thinking, okay, I got to go quick. But he took his time, found Merkwan wide open in the middle of the field, and with 3 timeouts, you can take that wide open middle of the field pass.
Yeah, and something you and I talked about earlier in the day, John, is the fact that this Mitchell Colonel defense does not blitz very much. They've only got 4 sacks on the year, 4 sacks in now 9.5 games. And so Keenholz was able to sit in that pocket and just allowed Merkwan to come open, and credit to Jack Merkwan. I mean, he was able to sit down, find some open space, because as a quarterback, you have that kind of clock in your head. I mean, after about 4 or 5 seconds, you got to get rid of the ball. But he had a really clean pocket that time, and Merkwan, coming from the far side of the field, was able to just kind of drift into some open space against the Colonel zone, and was able to pick up that first down. And the Governors are now operating on the Colonel 33-yard line, 21 seconds to go before halftime, and 2 timeouts in the Governor's hip pocket.
1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Empty backfield here. Shotgun formation for Lincoln Keenholz. 4 down linemen for the Mitchell Colonels. Keenholz will roll to his left. He's still rolling to his left. Now he's going to run with it. He's going to get out of bounds, and a good play there from Lincoln Keenholz to pick up a couple of maybe 6 or 7, and he'll bring up 2nd and 4 with around 15 seconds to go as they're inside the 30 to around the 26-yard line.
And about another 5 to 10 yards, and you get yourself inside of Karsten Miller field goal range. Still 2 timeouts left, 15 seconds. You probably have a time to run at least 2, maybe 3 plays.
So Coach Steele giving the play to Lincoln Keenholz, maybe a change of play. 3 receivers out to the right side here with shotgun formation. Quick throw here for Jack Burkon, make the catch. He's going to run straight through, get a first down. He's inside the 20-yard line, so he's into the red zone, and they'll take another timeout with 9 seconds to go. They'll be at the 19-yard line, a gain of 7 for Jack Burkwan, and he's got 3 catches for 49 yards. Again, gain of 7, so 100 yards passing for Lincoln Keenholz here in the first half. Right now, where you sit at with the 19-yard line, you're looking at around a 34-yard field goal, 36-yard field goal for Karsten Miller. So not out of his range, but a pretty long shot here for Karsten Miller if they go back trying to get a field goal attempt.
Yeah, and wind is not a factor tonight. We're looking at the goalpost, and the flags on top of both uprights are dead still. So wind not a factor in either direction so far. But let's talk a little bit about Jack Merkwan and just kind of the maturation of him as a wide receiver. This is a young man who just kind of got into the rotation in the first third of the season, earned a starting spot about halfway through the season, came on after the season-ending injury to Zach Lettler, and really has matured and has done a nice job as a sophomore. And so the Governors have some good things coming ahead of them with the sophomore quarterback in Keenholz and the sophomore split end in Jack Merkwan.
1st and 10 for the 19, coming out of the timeout. 2 receivers out to the left side. Rasky will come in motion. You don't see that very often from the Govs here this year to go in motion. Rasky will take off to the right side. Keenholz, he's looking. He's got to throw here pretty quick. 4 seconds to go. They throw it. They get out of bounds as Matt Hansen makes the catch as he's around the 15-yard line. And so a gain of about 4. And it looks like Karsten Miller is going to come on for a field goal attempt from around the 15-yard line, so around a 32-yard field goal here for Karsten Miller. That's already the 5th different receiver to make a catch here in this first half.
If the Governors can come out of here with a field goal and put points on the board and go into the locker room with the lead, that'll be a huge momentum boost and give the Governors the ball to start the second half. And to be able to go nearly the entire length of the field in about 45 seconds, this Governor offense can generate a lot of yards very quickly. We just haven't seen that so far tonight.
And field goal attempts here with getting the ball back in the second half, that's just kind of if we get it, we'll take it if we get it. If we don't, it's not the end of the world because we get the ball, we get a chance. Our offense is feeling pretty good. We go right down and score, and you can say, hey, the only reason why we didn't score is we didn't have enough time. If we would have had a little bit more time, and that's no indictment to the offense not having enough time. This is all gravy here for the Governors if they can get this field goal, which is going to be around a 32-yard field goal attempt for Karsten Miller. And now Coach Kent Van Overshield takes the timeout. So both teams have taken their final timeout. Coach Steele took a timeout. I think maybe he quickly went over to Karsten Miller, gave him a fist bump, and kind of maybe gave him a little extra shot of confidence before he had this field goal attempt because his first extra point attempt was blocked.
Yeah, and going back to the previous play, again, Lincoln Keenholz had a lot of time sitting in the pocket and just was able to almost had too much time. I mean, you could just see him trying to wait for somebody to break open. The Colonel stayed in that zone defense and really had the coverage locked down pretty well. And I'm sure the entire coaching staff at about the 5-second mark was yelling at the top of their lungs to Lincoln Keenholz to say, "Throw the ball."
Yeah, and I'm sure Lincoln was thinking the same thing too because in a normal situation, I'd just stay there all day and try to find somebody, but you had to work against the clock there trying to get that pass attempt. So both teams took their final timeout. So this, unless there's a penalty, which we've seen on scoring attempts has not been the cleanest trying to get points in. So here's Carson Miller, 32-yard field goal attempt to try and give the Governors a lead at the end of the first half. Lincoln Kenols is the holder. On the snap, it's a good snap. The kick from Carson Miller is up, and it is going to go no good. Wide right from Carson Miller. And it will be 7-6 for the Mitchell Colonels here at the end of the first half. You're listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. Not a bad kick from Carson Miller, just a little bit wide right, where the Colonels will gladly take a 7-6 lead. Gladly take a 7-6 lead going to halftime. I think they got a lot of work in front of them, as well as do the Pierre Governors. We'll step aside for 3 minutes. We'll come back with some halftime stats and also give you a rundown of scores across the state and the quarterfinal action throughout the entire state of South Dakota. Back in 3 minutes, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, it is halftime as the Governors, they trail 7-6 here at the break. 11-12 as Mitchell scored in the first drive again. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. Second straight game that the Governors have played Mitchell, and they've scored in that first drive, but have not scored since. And again, second time this year, Mitchell scored in the first drive and did not score after that through the rest of the first half. However, the Governors, they scored on their one drive to make it 7-6. The extra point was blocked, and that's the difference maker right now is a blocked extra point because this game has been relatively close in almost every single category here through the first half.
Yeah, and Governor defense has not been as consistent tonight as they were 2 weeks ago. Other than that first drive, and then a couple of long pass plays after the game was decided in the fourth quarter 2 weeks ago, the Governor defense really rose to the occasion tonight. Mitchell has done a better job of establishing their running game. The Governors have risen up when they've needed to. The goal line stand was a huge stand for the Governors, although that was maybe as much Mitchell shooting themselves in the foot with the multiple penalties, the multiple times they were inside the Governor 10 on that drive. But Governors started to get some offense moving late in that second quarter, able to drive most of the length of the field in less than a minute. And so the Governors have done some good things, but they just have not done enough good things consistently tonight, and that's why they're on the short end of a 7-6 score right now at halftime.
If they get another 35 seconds, 40 seconds in that first half, they probably score in the end zone for a touchdown. But, if you're not consistent enough, you don't get those breaks for you. You don't get that opportunity to get into the end zone because, Mitchell had a hole on the fourth down, but they had to accept the penalty because the Mitchell Colonels got in the end zone, barely got in the end zone, but just got in the end zone. If you stop them, well, you get that extra 20 seconds back that was lost after that penalty had to be accepted from the Mitchell Colonels holding penalty. So Lincoln Keenels, though, as we go through some of the stats here, he's 7 of 9. He's hit for his last 6. 104 through the air so far. He's hit 5 different receivers. Matt Hansen being that 5th different receiver. 4 guys have caught 1 pass, and Jack Merquan's caught 3 passes for 49. Rassey's got a catch for 34. Bolweg 12. Bergerman with 5, and Hansen with 4. The only 2 guys that run on the ground for the Governors, McGuire Raskey, 70 yards on 13 carries with a touchdown. Lincoln Keenels, 30 yards on 6 carries for the Governors. So 100 yards rushing, 104 yards passing, and the Governors are out gaining the Colonels 204 to 186. Parker Phillips, he had a big run of 35 yards to give the Colonels the lead, but he's only got 48 yards through 8 carries. So the last 6 carries went for a total of 4 positive yards. The Governors have done a much better job of wrapping him up after that first run of 9 and the second run of 35. Grosseter's got 13 yards on the ground. Vilhauer, who's probably had the best day of any Mitchell Colonel on the ground, 60 yards on 8 carries. He's also 5 for 9 for 65 yards. Phillips with 2 catches for 21. Johansson, 2 catches for 39, and Van Overshield a catch for 5. That rounds out the offense for both teams.
Yeah, and one thing we've seen out of Mitchell tonight is they are not relying on the pass, but it is a much more prominent part of their offense tonight. And the only game that they've thrown for over 100 yards was 2 weeks ago when they came to Pierre, and virtually all of their passing yardage came on those 2 long touchdown passes to Phillips midway through and late in the fourth quarter. So what we're seeing out of the Colonels so far tonight is an attempt to be just a little bit more balanced in their offensive scheme, and so right now Governors just a little bit on their heels defensively, can't quite commit that 8th, maybe 9th guy to the run where they were so effective 2 weeks ago, and so credit the Mitchell coaching staff. They've got the Governor defense just a little bit off balance right now, and because of that, they've got a 1-point lead here at halftime.
Yeah, and that's Pierre has not been in this situation very often. Last time they were in this situation in a playoff game, which they did end up winning because it was a state championship against Huron 2 years ago. But in the first round, second round, they've not been into this situation before. They really haven't been in the situation of trailing at halftime until tonight from that game 2 years ago. It was either been tied or they've had the lead at halftime in the 2 losses that they've had. So this is new territory for the Governors, but a drive to start off the third quarter because they get the ball to start the third quarter. A good drive, get in the end zone. You're right back in front, or you're in front for the first time today, and things can start to turn around for you going into the third quarter. And we have seen this coaching staff, and Steve Steele is a very much of an offensive mastermind. And if there is anybody in any staff that is good about making halftime adjustments, it's this coaching staff. And so we'll see what kind of tricks they've got up their sleeve, what kind of wrinkles they put in at halftime, and undoubtedly we may see some
some adjustments coming out of the locker room for the Governors. Like I said, this is anybody's game. So far, we haven't seen a turnover yet tonight. I really kind of thought we would see more turnovers. It's actually a pretty nice night. I mean, at kickoff, game time temp was about 41 degrees. Like we said, there really isn't any wind. The footing has actually been better than what I expected it to be, especially between the hash marks. We really haven't seen an issue with players slipping on their cuts. And so right now, I think whatever team makes a mistake and whichever team can capitalize on that mistake. And we saw it maybe at the end of the first half with the penalties on Mitchell. If Mitchell doesn't have those 3 penalties deep inside the red zone, they probably have points on the board and have the momentum going into halftime.
You take it for what it's worth, but the 2 times the Governors have not won here in the last couple of years they have been shut out in the second half. So if the Governors can score first here in this third quarter, the signs show that they would win the ball game. Obviously, that doesn't mean anything for this game, but take it for what it's worth. That the Governors have been, that's the only 2 times they've ever been shut out. Actually, well, take that back. They were shut out against Yankton in the second half, but they're up 63-0 last year when they got shut out in the second half. But in close games, they have not been shut out other than those 2 games, and that is the result of 2 losses in the last couple of years. So Governors, they trail 7-6 here at the break. We'll step aside for 3 minutes, and we'll come back, and we'll have some scores from around the state. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, the Governors trail 7-6 at halftime. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean as we have some score updates from the quarterfinal action around the states.
In the rest of it, quarterfinal night in South Dakota high school football playoffs. In the rest of 11 AA out in Sturgis, Huron leads Sturgis 6-0 early in the third quarter. Yankton, after having a close game at halftime, now all over Douglas 41-7 midway through the fourth quarter. Brookings in a final shutout Spearfish 45-0. In 11 AAA, Roosevelt leads. That's a final. Roosevelt has beaten Watertown 49-6. At the end of 3, Harrisburg leads O'Gorman 35-15, and Brandon has defeated Aberdeen Central 43-8. In 11A, we had a forfeit earlier today. Lennox, with unfortunately a COVID outbreak that did not allow them to play their quarterfinal game against T. T will advance to the semifinals next week. West Central leads Del Rapids 10-7 at the end of 3. Madison leads Dakota Valley 25-0 midway through the third. And at halftime, Canton leads Millbank 7-3. In 11B, Mobridge Pollock 20, St. Thomas More 9 late in the fourth quarter. Winner has won tonight, shutting out McCook Central Montrose 30-0. Sioux Valley 30, Elk Point Jefferson 14 at halftime. Also at halftime, Bridgewater Emory Ethan 8, Woonsocket Western Springs Sanborn Central 6. In the 9-man ranks, 9AA, Viborg Hurley 58, Rapid City Christian 6. That is a final at half. Hanson leads Platte Geddes 8-0. Midway through the third quarter, Lemon McIntosh and Florence Henry tied at 22. And at halftime, Hamlin leads Arlington Lake Preston 22-0. In 9A, Wall late in the third quarter over Lyman 35-6. At the start of the second half, Warner 12, Ipswich Edmond Central 6. Again, that's at the start of the second half. Howard, in a final, has defeated Castlewood 56-13. And Canastota Freeman at halftime leads Phillip, where D.T. Meyer is at tonight on Country 95.3. Canastota Freeman is up 28-0 at halftime. And in 9B tonight, 2 finals. Harriet Selby has defeated Coleman Egan 30-0, and Woolsey Wessington has defeated Corsica Stickney 15-0. 2 partials, Kadoka Area 42, Scotland 12 midway through the fourth. And at the beginning of the fourth quarter, Del Rapids St. Mary's leads Faith 34-14.
In Pierre Governor volleyball, I believe if you get to that maybe real quick, they were in set number 4. Let's see, I might be able to get to that real quick.
I've got it here. Governors are trailing 2-1, but the Governors do lead 21-19 in the fourth set. Governors, again, down 2-1, 25-21, 15-25, 10-25, and now lead the fourth set 22-19.
So if they do win that, and then they go to the best of 5 in another 5-game set against Aberdeen Central, and a pretty good night here for the Pierre Governor volleyball team. And, of course, we'll have the next 2 games both at home on Friday and Saturday, 7 o'clock on Friday for first serve, 1:30 on Saturday for first serve. We'll have both those games for you. And the remaining 2 into next week on Tuesday and Thursday against Mitchell and then at Huron. Again, as we welcome you to the broadcast booth, we're getting set here for the second half kickoff in just a couple of seconds. But I want to wish Greg Dean another happy birthday here. Had to wish him a happy birthday before the game. But for those that maybe joined after the pregame show is over, happy birthday to you, Greg.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Found out earlier today that Coach Nathan Nas and I share a birthday, and so he treated you and I with birthday cupcakes before the game.
He gave me a cupcake for his birthday. He gave you a cupcake for your birthday.
Yeah, so I'm still looking at my birthday cupcake.
we'll keep an update on the cupcake situation.
Birthday cupcake.
Yeah. The Governors,
we'll put the live stream on the birthday cupcake.
Governors get the ball, start the third quarter. We are underway here in the second half. We'll take one half for McGuire Rasky. He took the second half kickoff last week to the house. He will not break the tackle trying to take it to the house there, but he's going to get to around the 42-yard line. And the Governors have good field position here to start the third quarter, as it's going to be Brock Mosier that had that kickoff return. And that's a big kickoff return for the freshman.
Yeah, and if Mosier is able to make one more Colonel defender miss, he is off to about about an 85-yard touchdown return. But the last line of defense for the Colonels was able to bring Mosier down at the Governor 42.
Now Rasky will get a handoff on first down. He's going to bounce it out to the far side. He's still moving. He's got enough for a first down. He's still going over on the far sideline. He's past the 40-yard line inside Colonel territory, and a big gain for McGuire Rasky on that first down run of about 20 yards, and nearing his season high on a carry on that first play from scrimmage of the second half.
Yeah, just a straight handoff and a play that was probably to go over the right tackle, and Rasky bounced it to the outside, got to the edge, and then just kept going and ran through a couple of arm tackles. And like we said, he just does not go down on first contact.
And he will be dropped just a couple of yards past the line of scrimmage to around the 34-yard line. A gain of about 4 for McGuire Rasky, and he'll bring up second down. He's nearing the 100-yard plateau again. Second and 6 with a minute gone by, and just near a minute gone by here in the third quarter. Governors are trying to score and take the lead for the first time here tonight. They trailed 7-0. They were down 7-6, as was our score at halftime. Handoff for McGuire Rasky again. He'll back a couple of tacklers. He's near the first down marker, might be just a yard short. It'll be maybe third down and inches for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, just a straight handoff up the middle behind the right side of that Governor offensive line, and the Governors have found success going between the tackles tonight, and not getting big chunks of yardage, but getting 3, 4, 5, 6 at a time.
Third down and 1 for McGuire Rasky. Another handoff. He's got enough for a first down. He's going to get near the 26-yard line, and he needed just 1 yard from the 29 to around the 26. A gain of about 3. I call it a gain of 4 for McGuire Rasky.
Yeah, and again, I think it's really important for the Governors, especially the way that they have shown an ability to move the ball here early in this drive. They really need to put some points on the board here early in the third quarter and try to take control of this game. So
here's Lincoln Keenol's an empty backfield design run for Keenol's. He's going to dive forward as he got hit and then kept moving forward. And Keenol's will pick up a couple to around a gain of 6 to the 19-yard line. And the Governors are now inside the red zone, trying to score for just the second time here tonight. 2 minutes gone by here in this third quarter. Second and 4 from the 19-yard line. 2 receivers out to the left side, a lone receiver out on the far right side. Keenol's again, design run right up the middle. He gets near the 15-yard line where he needs to get to that first down marker. And I believe he's got to the 14. So it'll be a gain of 5 and a first down for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, nothing real fancy. Just either straight handoffs to Rasky up the middle between the tackles, or direct snaps to Keenholz where he just picks a hole in the middle of the Governor line, and the Governors have moved 40-plus yards here in about 2.5 minutes.
Keenholz, option again for Rasky. He almost got behind him on the pitch, but Rasky will try and turn. He stops again. He's going to try and keep moving forward. He's going to get to around the 10-yard line, and that's where he's going to be dropped. And it'll be second down, and we have the play stopped and maybe a penalty flag.
There is a flag on the play.
Near maybe where the tackle was made. And we'll see if we get the official to tell us exactly what it is.
Hold. 85 black.
So we call Bergman that is guilty of the hold and a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's going to drop him back to the 21-yard line, so a loss of just 7, and it's first and 17 here for the Governors.
Yeah, and much like what happened to the Colonels at the end of the first half, those big penalties down inside the red zone can be real drive killers.
Keenolz will look to pass here on first and 16. He's going to go move forward. The ball is out, and the Colonels say they got it, and they do have it. Keenolz fumbled the football, and that, I believe, is Joe Van Overshield that picks it up. And it's first and 10 for the Colonels, and the drive ends. And that is a huge killer to the Pierre Governors and a huge momentum boost to the Mitchell Colonels.
Yeah, and Keenholz dropped back to pass out of the empty backfield and saw an opening and tried to step up and find a crease. But when he did, he got wrapped up by a couple of Colonels. I think it was Adam Fahey again out of that near side linebacker position and forced the turnover. And the Colonels dodged a bullet here with 8:58 to go in the third quarter.
It'll be Parker Phillips with the handoff on first down. He's not going to go much of anywhere. And again, Phillips had 44 yards on his first 2 carries. He's had 6 since then, and he's actually going to lose a yard. So he's got 5 yards in his last 7 carries.
And after those first 2 carries, the Governors have done a pretty good job bottling Phillips up, and the secret to doing that is not letting him get to the outside. They've tried a variety of ways to get him the ball, whether it's on the counter, on the direct handoff, putting him in the slot, trying to throw the ball to him. But the Governors, for the most part, have done a pretty good job of containing him so far tonight.
Vilhauer, they're going to go for the counter again here to the near sideline, and another loss here for the Mitchell Colonels. So it's going to be 3rd down and very long. Parker Phillips again can't get anything moving, and he's going to lose even more yards. And it'll be 3rd and long here for the Colonels.
And the Governors, what they need to do here is they've had some issues on these 3rd down plays. I mean, this is a huge play for the Governors right here. 3rd and 16 from the Mitchell 14. They've got to get all the way out to the 30-yard line in order to get a first down. If the Governors can hold right here and either hold them at the line or not give up much, they will get the ball in really good field position to take over after the punt. But they've got to stop this drive first.
3rd and 16 for the 14-yard line. Vilhauer goes straight up the middle. He's going to be hit and dropped, and the Governors, with the 16 yards to work with, are able to allow Vilhauer to get up to about the 20-yard line, picked up about 6, but that's all he got, and it's going to be 4th and 10, and the Colonels are going to put the ball away.
Yeah, and Vilhauer had some space up the middle. Governors playing just a little bit soft, not wanting to give up the big play, and when Vilhauer was able to get through the first line, get to the second level, the Governors converged and got him on the ground pretty quickly.
Vilhauer looked to punt the ball away again. And it's going to be in here to the near sideline. It's going to take a hop, and it's going to take a Governor hop, and it's going to drop and die right at the 50-yard line. So here for the Pierre Governors, they're at the Mitchell side of the 50-yard line. And it's 1st and 10. The Governors, again, the defense has been helping out the offense here, keeping them within 1 point, keeping them within a score of just taking the lead. But the Governors have got to find a way to score here on this drive and take their first lead of the game with 6:45 to play in the 3rd.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if the Colonels aren't living on a little bit of borrowed time. The Governors have come close but have not been able to cash in on these last couple of drives. You got to wonder if this may not be the time that the Green and Black put something on the board.
Play action for Lincoln Keenels. A roll to his right, throw across his body, and the ball is going to be dropped, and it's going to be incomplete. As Reagan Bolwig, he's starting to look around for potentially a flag, but it's 2nd and 10. That's the first time that Keenels has missed a pass in his last 7 attempts. 2nd and 10 from the 50.
Yeah, and Bolwig was open, coming across on a post route from the near side tight end position, and had a Mitchell defender, number 16. Actually, that was Tucker Vilhauer on his back, and he was open, and unfortunately, ball just slid through his hands and fell incomplete.
Receiver on each side, pistol formation here for Keenels. He's going to look to pass. He's going to throw it out in the flat for McGuire Rasky. He's out to the right side of the far sideline. He's got to the 45 to the 40, and then he's going to be pushed out of bounds. Enough for a first down for McGuire Rasky. And a gain of 15 through the air for McGuire Rasky. 49 yards receiving for Rasky, 105 on the ground.
Yeah, and just a swing pass to Rasky to the right side, and he was one-on-one with Carson Fahey, the Colonel cornerback, and was able to sidestep him and then found some green space out on the far side and eventually ran out of bounds, but not after that 15-yard gain.
2 receivers out to the left side, empty backfield here. Keenels, he's going to look to pass again. He's going to throw, looking for a Bolwig over, and it's going to be intercepted by the Colonels inside the 5-yard line. Bolwig's trying to take it away at the end, but it'll be 1st and 10 here for the Colonels. And after the interception from Lincoln Keenels, who was it that got the interception? Jason Larson had the interception for Mitchell.
Yeah, and just a ball that Bolwig was open, but Keenels just overthrew him by a couple of yards, and Larson in good defensive position was not going to let Bolwig get behind him, and was in position to make the interception. For the Governors, if you look at it as a silver lining, that's almost like a punt. You don't want to give up the ball, but it's almost like a punt, and the Colonels will take over deep inside their own territory at about their own 4.
So it'll be 1st and 10, 6:25 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Colonels right now going to go 95 yards to try and score. Vilhauer from the shotgun, standing in his own end zone. He'll for Van Overshield. He's going to try and get to the edge on the left side. He's got to the edge, and he'll get enough for a first down, as that will be pushed out of bounds. And it'll be no flags and a first down here for the Colonels.
Yeah, and that's a play we saw the Colonels run several times 2 weeks ago, where it's just a straight handoff. It's almost like a jet sweep action. Only Van Overshield doesn't come in motion, and he's a big kid. He runs hard, 5'10", 190 pounds, and once he gets ahead of steam, he kind of runs a little bit like Josh Burrai from Brookings. I mean, just a very strong, low to the ground center of gravity. Tough to get that kid on the ground.
Gain of 10 there, 1st and 10 for the 15-yard line. A handoff for Grossteter. He's going to make one man miss. Grossteter might take it to the house. Trying to catch up to him is Tristan Curry, but Grossteter, he's going to take it all the way in for a touchdown, and Mitchell is up 13-6 on an 84-yard run from Josh Grossteter. And Mitchell leads 13-6 with 6:03 to play here in the third quarter.
Yeah, just a middle and a play that the Governors have defended well all night long. And just unfortunately, that was a play that Grossteter found a little bit of a crease, was able to step out of one, maybe two arm tackles, and then it was just a foot race, and he just had a little bit more speed than Tristan Curry over that last 40 yards and was able to finish that 84-yard touchdown run.
So here is going to be the extra point upcoming for the Mitchell Colonels, a high snap, and that one's going to be blocked, so it remains a 7-point game. So that's back-to-back touchdowns, so the extra point has been blocked. And it's 13-6 with 6:03 to play here in the third quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. So it was a two-play, 95-yard drive and an 84-yard touchdown run for Josh Grossteter to give the Mitchell Colonels a 13-6 lead. The extra point was blocked, and that is big because now the Governors don't have to go for two to tie the ball game up. If they go for two, they're going to try and take the lead if they score. But the Governors, 2 turnovers in their last 2 possessions here in this third quarter. So Hayden on the kickoff would be fielded on the far side for the Pierre Governors. Up to the 25, trying to get to the 30 is Brock Mosier. He's still moving forward, but he's going to fall around the 26. So here for the Governor offense again. And Greg, this is a critical drive here for the Governors. As I said, the 2 times the Governors have lost this year, the 2 times they've lost in the last 2 years, coming this year, they've been shut out in the second half. They've got to find a way to put points on the board here on this drive.
Yeah, and the Governors have been close several times tonight and just have not come away with points when they've gotten in the red zone. And you only get so many chances. And so you kind of wonder if maybe the Governors have squandered their opportunities. This is a big drive. They've got to turn this momentum because Mitchell's really got the momentum in their favor right now, and there's a flag on this play as Rasky goes to the right side.
He got to the 30-yard line,
There is a flag.
but it'll be a gain of 4 for Rasky. That will probably be coming back unless the Colonels were maybe lined up offside, but they're looking at the Governors right now like they're trying to figure out who the hold was on. And we'll wait for the
Holding on green. We don't have the number.
very concise with the call there. No number on the call. It's just like one of those false start everybody but everybody but the center. So first, back him up 10 yards. It'll be first and long here. So, yeah, that's great.
The upside is whoever the offending party is will forever be forgotten in history.
That's right. It was just on Pierre. That's all you need to know. First and 10 for the 16-yard line. 5:35 to go here in this third quarter. Governors have themselves in a bad spot here to open up this drive. Lincoln Keenels on the pass, looking for a pass. He's going to throw, looking over on the near side. and it's going to be a catch. They're going to call it a catch or not. They will call it a catch. As there's Jack Merkwan with the man all over his back. He's able to fall on top and make the catch. No replay here in this game, not until 2 games from now, the state championship. But a big ground for gain for Jack Merkwan on the first down.
Yeah, and Merkwan, he had one-on-one coverage and really had Larson on an island, just ran a post route, had a lot of room. And I think, in all honesty, there was about 3 or 4 Colonel defenders that were signaling incomplete pass, and they may have had a case, because I think Merkwan might have had that ball in his grasp, and it might have leaked out and maybe hit the turf. But the official said no, it's a catch, and the Governors are in business.
Gain of 5 for McGuire-Raskey on the next play. 110 on the ground for McGuire-Raskey. 2nd and 5 from the 44. 4:35 to play here in the third quarter. The Governors trail by 7, 13-6. Receiver on each side. Pistol formation. Raskey will get a handoff again. He's going to try and get to the left side, inside the left tackle. He's got enough for a first down. He's going to carry that pile a little bit farther to around the Mitchell 47-yard line, and a gain for a first down, and a gain for McGuire-Raskey.
Yeah, and again, just an inside handoff where Raskey just is in between the tackles and just keeps churning and carried about 3 Colonels the last 5 yards of that play.
Receiver and again on each side. Colin Bergman, the fullback. He's right behind the line of scrimmage. Raskey get the handoff again. He'll slip through one tackler. He's tripped up, able to hold on to the feet as he gets to the 44s, but still a gain of 3 for McGuire-Raskey on that first down run. But there is a flag that is going to be in the backfield, in the secondary here. So that's interesting seeing that call or seeing that flag come down. So we'll see now what the call is going to be.
And it was a flag that came in late after the play was blown dead, and we'll see if it is some type of I suspect, personal foul.
It is going to be
live ball, number 56. That'll be a 15-yard penalty.
So it is going to be the guilty party of Adam Fahey that is called for that personal foul. A 15-yard penalty gives the Governors a first down, and it's now 1st and 10 for the 29-yard line. So the Governors got to take advantage of this penalty here, where the Colonel will take advantage of the Governors' holding penalty. Pistol formation again. Raskey will get the handoff. He's going to go left side to the near sideline. He stiff arms a man. He's trying to get to the 25 before he's run out of bounds. And it'll be 2nd and short. And one of the Coach Nas might have got taken down on that play.
Colonels had 8 guys, maybe 9 guys in the box that time, really looking for the run in between the tackles out of Raskey, and he was able to bounce to the outside and was able to get 5, but they don't have a deep safety right now.
And the Colonels, I believe, jumped on that clap from Lincoln Keenels, and that should make it 2nd and 1 on the offside penalty called on the Colonels.
This might be an opportunity for the Governors to, if it gets into 2nd and short, to try to run that play action pass, and just because of the Colonels continue to not play that deep safety. You've got Merkwan on one side probably in man-to-man coverage, and I think Aaron Booth on the other side in man-to-man coverage.
As they'll hand off for Raskey right up the middle. He's got enough for a first down. He's going to get to around the 15-yard line, past the 15. He'll get closer to the 10-yard line, a gain of about 8 for McGuire-Raskey. And it's 1st and 10 here for the Governors with 3:49 and counting to go.
Jake Helleloyd for the Colonels, their 6', 180-pound middle linebacker, a little slow to get up off that play, but stays in the game. And so, again, we'll see if it's something that and again, I think we got a timeout. Yep, the Colonels are going to take timeout to try to get Helleloyd off the field.
I think they subbed for Helleloyd, but he didn't realize it, so they had to take the timeout or take the penalty. It's going to be the 7th play of the drive coming after this timeout.
Clock's running.
But the clock is stopped with 3:23 left to go here in the third quarter. 1st and 10 from the 11, 12-yard line for this Pierre Governor offense. And, again, great. This has got to be the drive that the Governors score. They've got to find a way to score. You don't want them to get the extra point block, but if you pull within one again, you feel confident to get one more drive to score to take the lead for good.
Yeah, and this Governor offense is a quick strike kind of offense. I mean, we saw it at the end of the first half. They drove almost the entire length of the field in less than a minute. I mean, so if you're the Governors and can get some opportunity to put some points on the board here, but this is a big drive. They've got to get some points here, because if the Colonels can dodge another bullet where they can keep the Governors off the board another time after they've gotten inside the red zone, that's going to be a huge momentum swing.
1st and 10 from the 11. Out of the timeout, Rasky gets the handoff. He gets inside the 10, trying to get to the 5-yard line. They go all the way to the 1. They get a new set of downs before they get in the end zone, but they're going to be around the 5. They called a gain of 6 to the 5-yard line. And 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4 from the 5-yard line. Rasky slips that time, and he comes up and hits the ground knowing that he had a chance, but it'll be 3rd down now, and around called maybe gain of or a loss of 1 or 2 there for McGuire Rasky.
Yeah, and Rasky had some green space on the right side, tried to bounce to the offside, but the footing just gave way for him.
Governor's under center here in the I formation, trying to hand for Bergman, and he is stuffed again. This time was his first run for him, but Joe Van Overshield again is there to stuff the Governors on trying to get a goal line opportunity. But they can still pick up a first down, can the Governors. It's going to be 4th and 4 from around the 5 here. They can go to the 1-yard line and still pick up another set of downs, but they've got to get to at least the 1.
And we got a Colonel limping off the field. Looks like they're one of their defensive linemen.
So from the pistol, and maybe the Colonels jumped again. But it's not going to be, it won't be a 5-yard penalty. It'll be a half to this is the goal.
Defensive encroachment. That'll be half the distance from the goal line.
So it's not a first down. It will be a first down. Okay, so, well, no, they still got the chains up. It's about 4th and 1 here from the 3.
Down marker does say 1, though, so
well, and the referee did point for a first down, but I don't think it's actually first down yet. And this is a key call here. If you're Coach Steele, you're going to try and talk your way into getting a first down. But I don't believe he got. I don't think that's in the where the penalty's at. Yeah, they're going to call officials timeout here to figure out where it's going to be at. They're going to call for measurement actually. So they're right at that first down marker. This is a big play here. The Governors might have got themselves a first down and first goal situation without actually having to run that play on 4th down.
Yeah, and if you're the Governors, and this does end up being short, this might be again a situation where you maybe put the ball in McGuire Rasky's hands out of that wild gov formation. They do come up just a bit short. They're probably less than a foot away from the first down.
And maybe, I don't know how many times you've run this play so far, but you put in Lincoln Keno's, you did have that I formation. Just let Lincoln Keno's take the snap and try and carry forward for a QB sneak here. So it's 4th and inches from around the 2-yard line. It looks like Keno's going to go from under center. I mean, I would think you've run a QB sneak a couple of times and you pull it out of your back pocket. We haven't really seen that this year, but we'll see if Keno's will keep it here on 4th and inches. From around the 2, 2:06 to go here in the third quarter. There's a big play. Keno's will keep it, trying to get enough for a first down, and he got stuffed at the line, but I don't know if they're going to give him the line to gain or not. The Colonels say they got a first down, but you got to measure this. You can't leave any doubt. You got to at least get a measurement here because at first Keno's looked like he was going to pick it up, but I don't know if he's going to get it or not.
No, they're changing balls. This is the Colonels look like they've held.
Wow. The Colonels hold again on a QB sneak from Lincoln Keno's, and he couldn't pick up a couple of inches. Credit to the defensive line for the Mitchell Colonels on that one.
And the Governors come up empty when they're inside the red zone yet again tonight. I mean, I think that's at least the 3rd time tonight they've been in the red zone and have not had any points to show for those 3 trips inside the red zone.
So around the 2-yard line, Phillips will get the handoff. He's going straight up the middle. He's got enough he's got picked up close to a first down. Grossdidier going up the middle. That's going to be easily Grossdidier. That's going to get most of those yards. Gain of about 8 for Grossdidier. Yes, he's got over 100 yards rushing now after picking up that 84-yard touchdown run. And this is a big drive for the Governors. They've got to get a stop. They cannot afford to go down 2 scores here with 90 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Yep, Governors down 13-6 to the Colonels with a minute 27 to go, and they've come right and knocked on the door multiple times, and I just have not been able to convert.
I believe that one was going to be for Joe Vanover or Jake Helloyd. He gets his first run of the night. And Helloyd will maybe pick up a yard. Maybe not. No gain. 3rd and 2. So this is, again, if you pick up a yard, if you're Mitchell and don't go away with the first down, can you justify going for it on 4th and 1 from your own 12-yard line? But do you really want to give the Governor I mean, when you're in the playoffs, these are questions that are really tough to answer, but the Governors have got to find a way to get a stop here on 3rd and 2 to put Mitchell in a tough answer situation. Vilhauer from the shotgun. He's going to keep it himself. He's got enough for a first down. He doesn't have to put that question to the test. And he's going to get to around the 13-yard line, 14-yard line, and it's a first down.
And that may be enough to end the third quarter. We're down under 30 seconds now to go in the third quarter, and the Governors will trail for, in a situation they've rarely been in, trailing going into the fourth
tonight. This has been a Mitchell lead, and they got to run another play here. The play clock is down, and Coach Kent Van Overshield has got to spend his second timeout, and that might come back to haunt the Colonels. They thought they were going to be able to get out of this quarter without having to run another play, but they're going to have to take a delay game penalty with about a second or two left if they didn't call that timeout. So that's put that in your, kind of circle that timeout, because that could cause some problems for Mitchell late in this game.
Yeah, they've had to burn 2 timeouts here in the back half of the third quarter that they really shouldn't have had to. I mean, Helloyd got hurt on that last defensive series and didn't realize he'd been subbed for, and Mitchell would have gotten flagged for 12 men on the field had they not called timeout on that defensive series. Now they almost end up with a delay of game penalty with 3 seconds to go here in the third quarter. But again, Mitchell is doing just enough things right to put themselves ahead, even though they've committed a number of very costly penalties tonight.
1st and 10 for the 13-yard line, a handoff, trying to get up the middle, thrown down, and that's going to take us to the fourth quarter. So it'd be 13-6 going in the fourth quarter as the Governors, they trail by 7. Back in a minute. You're listening to Pure Governor Football, today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Josh Grossdieter was stuffed on that first down run from the 13-yard line, so it is 2nd and 10 to open up the fourth quarter, where the Governors trail by 7 here in a win-or-go-home game. The first round quarterfinal action, Class 11. Parker Phillips, it was Van Overshield that almost fumbled the ball on that carry. It'll be 3rd down and loss of 2 for Van Overshield. So it's now 3rd down and 12, and the Governors, if they get the ball back here, they've got to take advantage of having this ball again.
Yeah, big 3rd down play here. The Governors have the Colonels backed up inside the Colonel 15, 3rd and 12 early in the fourth quarter a stop here. And again, the Governors should get the ball in good field position, but third down's been a little bit of a bugaboo for them tonight.
3rd and 12 from the Mitchell 11. Vilhauer from the shotgun. He'll take the snap, and he'll give over for Phillips. He's going to try and get to the end, but he's going to be wrapped up and dropped, and it's 4th down and long for Mitchell. And the Colonels have got to punt the ball away.
Loss of 2 on the
And another
play.
loss of 2 for Phillips. He's got 40 yards now on 11 carries. He has lost 4 yards since his 35-yard run in the next 9 carries that he's had. But it'll be Trey Lewis as well as Jaden Wiebe back deep for the Governors.
Yeah, and the Governors have really done a nice job bottling up Phillips tonight. It's been Grostadier and Vilhauer, and to some degree Van Overshield that have hurt him at times.
Low snap, and Vilhauer's going to try and get away. He just barely does. It'll be fielded by Wiebe, and Jaden Wiebe straight up the middle. And Jaden Wiebe still moving. He's going to get inside the 25.
Yeah, just kind of hesitated after he made the catch, and I think may have actually thrown the Colonel punt defend team off course for just a second, because when he hesitated, they let up a little bit, and then he just went right up the middle and was one tackler away from getting to the outside and going to the house.
So Jaden Wiebe not known to be on those punt returns, but he's got a big one to the 22-yard line. Rasky goes in motion here on 1st down. Keenels will follow him to the left side. He's going to try and pick up a block from Rasky. He's out to the far side. He makes one man miss. A spin move from Keenels. Cuts it back to the near side. Running into the end zone for a touchdown. 22 yards out for Lincoln Keenels. And the Governors are an extra point away from tying this one up again with 10-11 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and what a run from Lincoln Keenholz. Just had the lead block from Rasky as he comes in motion out of his tailback position, and then ended up being the lead blocker. And it looked like Keenholz was probably going to be bottled up and wrapped up about 5-6 yards downfield over on the far sideline, but was able to get out of the tackle, made a spin move, cut back into the middle of the field, and then just found a pathway into the end zone, and we're an extra point away from being tied.
So here is Lincoln Keenels, who scored for just the second time. The extra point is up, and it is good. And for the first time since it was 0-0 in that first drive of the game, we are tied up. It is 13-13 with 10-11 to go here in the 4th quarter. Back in 30 seconds, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. A 22-yard run from Lincoln Keenels. Just the second time he has carried one in from the ground, and it's a 13-13 tie with 10-11 to go. And we are back to square one, just like we started this ball game about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, the difference is right now, I think momentum has gone back and forth, and right now it's sitting on the Pierre Governor sidelines.
Parker Phillips, he's out to the 20, trying to cut it back to the middle of the field, 25. He gets out to the 30, to the 35, to the 40. Carson Miller can't get to him. He's at the 40, to the 35, and Parker Phillips takes it to the house, and Mitchell is back on top just 14 seconds later. 19-13, 9:57 to go here in the 4th quarter. And the Governors have got to go back down again and score to try and tie it back up.
Yeah, and Phillips took the kickoff at about his own 15-yard line, right up against the near sideline, and just started to work his way back across the field, and was able to find a crease as he got to the middle of the field around about the 25-yard line, and then was able to get ahead of steam. And then it was just a foot race, and he's not very big, but he is fast. And then he just literally outran about 4 Governors to the pylon, and just like that, the Colonels are back on top.
On the extra point, the kick is up, and that is going to be good. So it is a 7-point lead again for the Mitchell Colonels. 20-13, 9:55 to go here in the 4th quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com.
Mitchell 20.
85 yards on the kick return from Parker Phillips, and Mitchell didn't like to be state tied for long. 9:55 is left on the clock. As a quick volleyball update, Aberdeen Central wins in 5 sets, 3-2 over the Pierre Governors. They won the 5th set 15-13, so the Governors almost got that win. You hope that now the football team doesn't almost get a win against the Mitchell Colonels, trying to advance to face Yankton, who already won over Douglas next week, Friday, down in Yankton. Winner of this game will go to Yankton no matter what, as Hayden will kick it deep for the Mitchell Colonels. He'll take a couple of hops and field it, going straight up the middle. Here comes Brock Moser again. So, boy, this has turned out to be a pretty thrilling finish here. Mitchell trying to get one more guy off the field, and he did not get off the field. I think he actually crossed the line of scrimmage before the snap. So that's going to give the Governors a first down here to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, and again, just that's a mental mistake for the Colonels, trying to get a guy off the field as a substitution to come in, but it was a defensive lineman for the Colonels, and they're going to pick the flag up.
So Coach Steele, he's got his arm up, and he's going, well, wait a second here. Why are we picking the flag up on this one? And the referee maybe gave him an explanation from where he's at, but it's still going to be 2nd and 4. So the Governors don't pick up the first down quite yet. 2nd and 4 for the 12-yard line. 9:19 left to go here in the fourth quarter. McGuire Rasky gets the handoff. He'll try and bounce off a tackler. He's going to try and get to the edge. He's going to run out of bounds right around where that line of scrimmage was. So not a big gain there for McGuire Rasky. Not even a gain for McGuire Rasky.
Ridden out of bounds by Riley Johansson, the 6'6" defensive end for the Colonels. And I think Rasky actually lost a couple of yards on that play as the officials will spot the ball at the Colonel 14-yard line. Brings up a 3rd and about 5 for the Governors.
So this is a big 3rd down play here. 3rd and 6 for the Governors. Receiver on each side for Lincoln Keenholz. He'll carry it, and he'll pitch it for Rasky. He'll cut it back. He's going to try and have to get back the other way, but he's going to run into Colin Brueggemann, and then it's going to be 4th down now again. And the Governors have got to pick this one up. With 9 minutes to go, yeah, you can go for a field goal, but there's really no point. Just try and pick it up here and give yourself a chance, as Rasky lost another 3 yards. It's now 4th and 9.
Yeah, and that was a play where Rasky tried to make a jump cut back into the middle. He probably, in 2020 hindsight, should have just gotten what he could going to the outside, but made a jump cut back and ran into about 3 Colonel defenders.
So it's 4th and 9. Keenholz will look to pass here on this 4th down. He's going to throw, looking for Bolwig in the air. He comes down. He makes the catch. And a touchdown for Reagan Bolwig. And Reagan Bolwig has now broken the receiving touchdown record for his career as a Pierre Governor in just 2 years. And Bolwig now gives the Governors again an extra point away from tying it up.
Yeah, and you look at this and you go, 8:31 to go in the fourth quarter. Do you roll the dice and go for 2? But I think Coach Steele's going to play it safe. He's got Carson Miller on to try the extra point and go for the tie and try to tie this game at 20 with 8:31 to go in the fourth.
So Carson Miller go 2 for 3 from the extra point. He had the first one blocked. The second one was good. The third one is up, and it is going to be good. So we are tied 20-20 with 8:31 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Yeah, it's the year 2020. Why not let the score be a wild game of 2020? Back in 30 seconds. Listen to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. Four-play drive that went 18 yards. It was a 16-yard touchdown grab for Reagan Bolwick, who now has has a career receiving touchdown record in Pierre Governor history with that grab from Lincoln Keenels. Take a deep breath. Let's reset. 8:31 left to go. Carson Miller's going to kick it off. And we're going to try and keep this one from going all the way back from Parker Phillips again. Carson Miller, he will kick this one away. It's going to be a short kick off of one of the Colonels, and the Colonels are going to jump on top of the ball at around the 41-yard line. And, oh, boy, was that one close. And really, hey, Coach Luckway, give him credit here. That was a smart play to keep it away from Parker Phillips and almost got the ball back.
Yeah, Braden Zabo, 5'9", 170-pound junior offensive lineman for the Colonels, was the one that fell on the ball. But if that ball moves about another 2 feet, the Governors have a real shot at trying to recover that. And as wild as this second half has been, I don't think we've still got a bunch of wild stuff to see.
You are listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station. If you know someone who's not, you better tell them to get to this radio station and start listening to this ball game. Bill Howard's going to go back to pass. He's going to look for a home run ball. And it's going to be caught for a first down all the way into Governor territory, as it's going to be Jace Larson making his first grab of the night. So that's a big grab for Jace Larson all the way down to 31.
Yeah, and just Larson just coming on a post play, one-on-one coverage with Jaden Wiebe over the middle, and Wiebe playing behind and not wanting to allow the long play, but Larson in good position and a good ball from Vilhauer and about 20, almost 30 yards on the pass play for the Colonels.
Phillips and Vilhauer will keep it on the read option, and it'll be a gain of a couple for Vilhauer inside the 30-yard line to around the 27, 28-yard line. A gain of about 3 for Vilhauer, who's up to 72 yards rushing. It was a gain of 24 in that last play, so Vilhauer is now 6 for 10 for 89 yards on the game through the air, 72 yards on the ground for the junior quarterback.
Yeah, and this is a game where 7:33 to go. Governor defense has got to rise up at least one more time, and this is 4-down territory for the Colonels.
2nd and 7, handoff for Grosstedier. He is wrapped up in the backfield. Reagan Bolwig was there first, and it's going to be a loss all the way back to the 31-yard line. Lose those 3 yards, maybe back to the 32-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 4. And it's now 3rd down and 11 here for the Colonels with 7:05 left to go. Jace Beestrom was also long on that tackle. And here's now a 3rd and long that Mitchell overall is not comfortable being in those 3rd and long situations, but tonight has not really been a difference.
Yeah, and credit Bolwig on that last play. He had a Colonel blocker right in his face, but fought through it and was able to get Grosstedier, came across, got contained, and put Grosstedier on his back.
Vilhauer on the pass to the flats. The catch is made by Parker Phillips. He gets through one tackler. He's still on his feet. He is in the end zone for another touchdown. A 32-yard pass, broke through 2 tackles, and Parker Phillips has got another touchdown grab here on the game. His 3rd different touchdown. And the Colonels are back up by 6 with 6:34 to go here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, just a swing pass to Phillips on the outside, and he ran through 2 Governor arm tackles tonight. And if there's anything on the film that I think the coaches for the Govs are going to look at as they look at this film, they're going to look at a lot of arm tackles that just didn't wrap up, and Parker Phillips is a hard-running young man and was able to just run through a bunch of those tonight.
The extra point might have been tipped, but it still went over the crossbar, so it's 27-20 with 6:34 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Back in 30 seconds. This is Pure Governor Football, today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to the field, is a 4-play, 59-yard drive, a 32-yard catch from Parker Phillips. It was Vilhauer to Parker Phillips, and it is now a 27-20 lead for the Mitchell Colonels. They're trying to end a 6-game losing streak. They started out 3-0 this year, did Mitchell, and they've lost 6 in a row. They're trying to end that losing streak while also keeping their season alive, and the Governors are trying to defend their title for the 3rd straight year. And all the storylines were all in favor of the Pierre Governors to win this ball game, but Mitchell's trying to flip the story here with about 6.5 to play.
Yeah, and the challenge becomes when you allow an underdog, and in this case that's the Mitchell Colonels, to come in and just kind of hang around and continue to build that momentum. Pretty soon you look up at the scoreboard and you just figure out, hey, this game's a lot closer than it should be, and that's exactly what's happening to the Governors right now. They're down 27-20, 6.5 to go.
I believe the ball went out of bounds here. Maybe he stepped out of bounds when he grabbed the ball. That kickoff was actually from Ben Zybart, the offensive lineman, the 6'1", 240-pound offensive lineman. The big boy had the kickoff, and it went out of bounds, but it was picked up out of bounds, and that's why it's going to be 1st and 10 from around the 20-yard line. But Coach Steele, I think, trying to plead his point that should be a penalty on the Colonels, but I don't think he's going to win that argument. So 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. The Governors have to go 79 yards here on this drive as they trail by 7 points. Keenol's look to pass on 1st down. He's going to throw, looking for another home run ball for Ballwig. A catch is made, and he's past the 50-yard line into Mitchell territory. And there's a big way to get those first couple yards. Gain of about 31 for Reagan Ballwig.
Yeah, and if Ballwig is able to avoid the tackle, and I think that was Tucker Vilhauer, if he's able to avoid the tackle, he's going to go 79 yards.
So 1st and 10 from the 48-yard line, a gain of 31 for Ballwig on that 1st down catch. Keenol's going to look to pass again. He's going to throw. The catch is made by McGuire Rasky. He's going to get to around the 31-yard line, right around the 30, a gain of about 18 for McGuire Rasky.
Yeah, and Keenholz has a lot of time in the pocket right now. The Colonels are only rushing 4 and dropping 7, and the Governor receivers are able to get some time to find some space in this zone.
1st and 10 from the yard line, 6 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. It is Lincoln Keenolz looking to pass again. He's still got all kinds of time. Throwing for the end zone for Aaron Booth. It's up. Booth makes the catch. It's a touchdown for the Governors. Are you kidding me, Booth? 30-yard grab for Aaron Booth, and we're an extra point away again from getting this game tied with 5:50 to go.
Wow, and that was a ball, that was a really well-thrown ball into single coverage in the corner of the end zone, kind of a 50-50 ball, and Aaron Booth just goes up and just literally takes that ball away from the Colonel defender, and we're an extra point away from being tied up yet again in the 4th quarter.
5:50 to go here in the 4th quarter. The snap is good. The kick is up from Karsten Miller, and we are tied again, 27-27. 5:50 to go here in the 4th quarter. You better not be going anywhere. We're back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. (27-27) is our score. 2-play drive with 79 yards. A 30-yard touchdown grab for Aaron Booth. Give me 3-play drive that went to 79 yards and a 30-yard touchdown grab from Aaron Booth. We're running out of superlatives to talk about how good this game has been, and boy, this could be the game of the year in Class 11 AA, and this is the first round. This is the quarterfinal round. We're still playing. It's 27-27 with 5:50 to go. Here's Karsten Miller with the next kick, and it will be a low line drive kick taken by the Colonels. And they did not call for a fair catch.
No, we got something back here at the line. We got a flag.
So as I did not hear the whistle go, which turned into looking like everybody was just kind of standing around, and I thought maybe Mitchell was going to take off with it, but it's going to back up the Governors 5 yards. So I believe didn't see what the call was in the
It's illegal procedure against the Governors.
So yes, they got him in front of the kickoff. So we'll do it again from the 35-yard line. 5:50 to go here in the fourth quarter. What a fantastic game this has been. Here's Karsten Miller again for the kickoff. A little bit deeper, a higher kick, and it's going to be taken from the far sideline and up the middle again. And the Colonels will be at around the 40-yard line. As maybe Adam Fahey was the one that took that grab for the Colonels. And so it'll be 1st and 10 for Mitchell. We're not done yet over here. This is, boy, what a fantastic game. But the Governors, they don't want to play a fantastic game and lose. So they don't want to play this instant classic and lose. They want to play and find a way to win this one.
Yeah, and that was a kick that was designed to go away from Parker Phillips. Parker Phillips on the near side on the deep return. That was a kick to the middle, to the far side, and they were obviously kicking the ball and trying everything possible to keep the ball out of Parker Phillips' hands.
Bill Hauer is going to be sacked in the backfield. Reagan Bolwick got there. Bill Hauer got a forearm or got a stiff arm to Reagan Bolwick on the ground, but Bolwick never let go of Bill Hauer, and he ended up falling down, a loss of 6 on that first down run from Bill Hauer.
Yeah, and that's a huge play by Bolwick. Just came across, and that's that student body play that Mitchell's run effectively tonight. This time they tried to run it to the near sideline, and Bolwick came across and was just able to fight off his blocker, and I think all he got was one hand on Bill Hauer's jersey and was able to drag him down to the ground for a loss of 5.
2nd and 16 here. Bill Hauer is going to go play action, looking to pass. He's going to throw it up top, and it's going to be short and almost intercepted by the Governors as they're looking for Parker Phillips over there, but the Governors almost had that interception as it was McGuire Rasky who almost had INT.
Yeah, and the Governors had that pass play pretty well defensed. They had 3 guys running with Parker Phillips on the wheel route coming out of the backfield, and it was Rasky and Tristan Curry, and I think maybe Reagan Bolwick as well, but there were 3 black shirts right there in proximity, and for the Colonels, they kind of got to feel a little bit lucky that pass was underthrown, because if it's anywhere close to Phillips, it's probably picked off.
3rd and 16 from their own 34, 4:56 to go. Play clock is running down to under 5. Bill Hauer will get the handoff for Phillips. He is wrapped up in the backfield. Josh Rouse gets there at the 25. A loss of 9 for Parker Phillips. And it's 4th down and very long. And Mitchell's got to punt the ball away. And with all 3 timeouts, the Governors can really eat up all this time to score just once and take the win.
Yeah, and that was that halfback option play that Mitchell tried to run down near the goal line late in the first half, and the Governors this time, Josh Rouse scraping from his middle linebacker position, came in hard and was able to get Phillips on the ground for a loss of 9.
2 guys back for the Governors in, I believe, Lewis and Wiebe, as it will be couple of hops. Wiebe, he's going to let it roll. So the Governors are going to have to go at least 71 yards here to try and win this ball game. 4:04 is left, but that is a big 3 and out from that defense to really energize the offense, who already had a lot of energy after that last drive. But 4:04, the Governors, this is the drive where they can take all the time. They can take 4 minutes and 4 seconds off the clock to win this ball game.
And remember, Governors have all 3 timeouts. Mitchell is down to 1, having burned 2 of them earlier in this half. And so the Governors now have the momentum, they have the ball, and they are in control even though the score is tied. Let's see if Governors can pull one out.
Lincoln Keno's pass on first down. The catch is made by Bolwick. He slips through a tackler. He's past the 50-yard line as he is down around the 47. And the Governor offense starting to roll a little bit here. But again, with the time that they have, you might want to slow it down maybe a little bit. That was just the first play, but a good play there to pick up, a big 14-yard play for the Governors. Give me 24-yard play.
Yeah, and again, remember we talked about the fact that the Colonels are not committing a deep safety. They're putting 7-8 guys close to the line, and the Governor offense is having a lot of time to run in the secondary.
Kenos will take off for a first down. He's going to get to past the 30-yard line to around the 27. A big gain for Lincoln Keno's on first down. And it'll be all the way down to 27, a big gain. And
Keyholes on the carry.
now we got an official's timeout.
I think we've got a Colonel that's slow to get up and a little bit shaky on his feet. It's Wyatt Winter, the 5'10", 260-pound nose tackle, and he's coming off under his own power, but he's wobbling a little bit back and forth, and so now the officials have the ball spotted. Clock is running. 3:31 to go. Tie ball game. Governors have the ball at the Colonel 27.
A bunch formation at the line of scrimmage. Key Knowles will step over the pocket. He's going to take off with it. He's going to get to around the 20, inside the 20-yard line to around the 19 or 18. A gain of about 8 or 9 for Lincoln Key Knowles in that first down run, who previously gained 20 on that first run, and a gain of 8, second and 2.
Yeah, and this is what Lincoln Keenholz did very effectively 2 weeks ago. When he felt some heat in the pocket, he was able to step up and found a lot of running lanes, and he's done that a couple of times here on back-to-back plays here late in the fourth quarter with the score tied.
Keenholz is going to look to pass again, step up in the pocket, a quick throw, and it'll be for the end zone. The catch is made.
Aaron Booth.
Aaron Booth again. From 19 yards out of the Governors with 2:44 left to go in the fourth quarter. Lead for the first time tonight. 33-27, 19 yards out. There's the efficiency of Aaron Booth. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, and the Governors lead by 6.
All he does is score touchdowns. You know, he had 4 catches last year, 4 touchdowns. I didn't look at his stats coming into the night, but all Aaron Booth does is score touchdowns. He's just, you know, and what a huge play. What a great pass from Lincoln Keenholz to Aaron Booth, again in the corner of the end zone.
Big extra point from Carson Miller. That is good. And the Governors lead by 7, 34-27 with 2:44 to go here in the fourth quarter. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pure Governor Football. Today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. A 4-play, 71-yard drive, and it went for a 19-yard touchdown grab from Aaron Booth again, who has given the Governors their first lead of the evening with just 2:44 left to go in this ball game. What an incredible game, Greg.
Well, what an incredible second half. I mean, this was a game that was kind of an uninspiring game in the first half, but uninspiring got left in the locker room at halftime.
As Carson Miller, quick kick, and it'll be fielded and dropped, actually fielded on the ground by Joe Van Overshield. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. And Mitchell Colonels with 1 timeout. Remember that, 1 timeout here at 2:43. They've got to find a way to get to the end zone here. And that for their first time here tonight, try and tie the ball game up. They have not trailed in this game until this last play from Aaron Booth's touchdown grab.
Yeah, and the Colonels have done a lot of good things tonight. You got to know where Parker Phillips is at all times. You got to pay attention to that Mitchell passing game, probably for the first time all season, because they've not been afraid to throw the ball here in this game.
Bill Howard's going to look to pass on first down. He's going to throw, looking for Johansson. It's going to be up, and it's going to be dropped. Lincoln Keenholz in coverage, and Johansson almost had that grab, and he almost went 65 yards to the house for a touchdown.
Yeah, and Keenholz running stride for stride with Johansson right down the hash mark, right down the near hash mark, and again, just a very nice ball from Vilhauer. And if Keenholz does not get his hand up between Johansson's hands at the very last second, that's a complete pass.
The 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. Low snap. Vilhauer's going to try and pick it up and run. He's going to try and find something to do, but he is going to be sacked. And it's 3rd down and very long for the Mitchell Colonels. And with only 1 timeout, they've just got to get everybody back to the line. They can't really take too much time. There's still 2:20 left, but this is their last offensive possession to try and score here. And it's going to be all the way back to the 25. A loss of 10. And Mitchell's going to take their last time out. Gunnar Gehring's going to get credit for the sack. But these are 2 plays here for the Mitchell Colonels to try and pick up a first down, but they're using their last timeout with 2:08 left. This is their drive to try and tie it up.
Yeah, and right now, the Colonels, probably a good timeout from Coach Van Overshield, even though there's 2:11 to go and you want to keep one in your hip pocket if you need it. But I think this is a good time for them to just go over, regroup, kind of try to figure out what their best play is, because they're facing third and forever right now, 3rd and 20 on their own 25-yard line, and 2:11 to go in the fourth quarter, down by 7. This is 4-down territory. It doesn't matter where this 3rd down play ends up. This is 4-down territory for the Colonels. For the Governor defense, they've got to rise up 2 more times. If they can rise up and hold the Colonels to 19 yards or less in these next 2 plays, they can just go into victory formation and salt away a victory, a very hard-earned victory. It's not over yet, but they need to rise up twice more over these next couple of plays.
Bill Hauer 7 for 13 through the air for 112 yards in the half. He's 2 for 6 as it'll be 3rd down and 20. As Bill Hauer's going to look to pass, he's going to throw over the middle. It's intercepted by Lincoln Keenholz, and the Governors are going to win this one at home and take it to the second round against the Yankton Bucks.
Yeah, and Keenholz gets credit for the interception, but that play is made by Jace Beestrom, because Beestrom came from his defensive end position and was literally a quarter of a step away from just obliterating Vilhauer, and Vilhauer had to step up and throw that ball maybe a fraction of a second early. And if Beestrom doesn't put that kind of pressure on Vilhauer, then that pass has a chance to be completed. But Vilhauer underthrows it. Keenholz steps in front. Governors have the ball. 2:06 to go. The Governors have the ball in the Colonel 34. A 7-point lead. Victory formation's all they got to do.
That's right. Mitchell has used all their timeouts, and the Governors, who did not lead until there was 4 minutes left to go in this game. I mean, they trailed from the first time they had the ball in offense, and of course they had the ball game time, but they did not lead until the last 4 minutes of this game. But it's going to be enough to get a win and advance to the second round and set a rematch against Yankton down in Yankton next Friday.
Yeah, and 2:06 to go. I'm not sure if the Governors can kneel the ball 4 times and get out of here or not. It's going to be close. We'll see.
Where's your math at here?
Well,
they're going to go in victory formation right now, and I think with the shotgun snap, maybe Keenholz will kind of drop back a couple of extra yards to he's going to take a long stride back and then drop down. So he took 5 seconds off the clock on that play, and now another 40 seconds will come off. So it might be a play where they're on 4th down, and they might just try and run and maybe have to kick it out of bounds to win this one. But what a heck of what a game this has been. As you said, it was not a very good first half for either team, but it's turned to be an instant classic here tonight.
Yeah, and these last 3-4 plays are going to do a lot of damage to Lincoln Keenholz's numbers on the night. But come the end of the night, he's going to have one whale of a ball game.
He lost 12 yards on that play. Now he'll take another snap. He's going to drop down again at the 45-yard line. And one of the offensive linemen for the Pierre Governors was a little slow to get up, as that was Houston Lundy. And it's 3rd down and very long, 3rd and 31. So as long as they get with under 40 seconds here, and they should, all they got to do is snap it one more time. And we will have a whistle and maybe a flag coming in from the
far sideline.
So it's going to be, it looks like it should be on.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Mitchell's bench. The 15-yard penalty is played down.
15-yard penalty. That's still going to be 3rd down and long here, but that's one that kind of puts a stain. I don't know what happened over there. We're not going to find out what happened, but one that you don't like to see. So now all they need is to snap it one more time under 40 seconds, and they can take that victory formation. McGuire Rasky standing at his own 42-yard line and just need one snap and one knee. And that's going to do it. And the Pierre Governors are going to win this one. What a game. 34-27. The Pierre Governors, they knock off the Mitchell Colonels here, and they finish off the Colonels here tonight. The Colonels, who were 3-0 to start the year, will finish at 3-7. And it is a big win for the Governors, who set a rematch up next Friday against the Yankton Bucks, trying to get to the state championship for the 4th straight year and defend their title. And a couple of handshakes for the Governors and the Mitchell Colonels. And Pierre Governors win it 34-27. And they will all be back in 3 minutes with some post-game coverage. You're listening to Pierre Governor football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com.
Congratulations to both teams and the Colonels.
As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, this ball game finally comes to an end, and still kind of taking a couple deep breaths here. 34-27, the Pierre Governors win here tonight in a game they never led until the final 4 minutes. That final score, when they went up 33-27, that was their first and only lead of the night. And they get an interception from Lincoln Keenels, who is part of our dual player of the game, along with Aaron Booth, who made two great catches for touchdowns and gave the Governors a tie at 27-27 and gave them the lead at 34-27. Aaron Booth, Lincoln Keenels. I mean, you go up and down the list right here, but let's talk about Lincoln Keenels here, the sophomore. He grew up pretty quick through the season, and he grew up a lot here tonight, and it had a fantastic second half for this Governor team.
I think if Lincoln Keenholz could have his pick, he would pick to play Mitchell every week, because 2 weeks ago, threw for over 200 yards, rushed for over 100. Tonight, unofficially, I think you've got him for 75 yards, his first rushing touchdown. almost 180 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, including 2 huge throws to Aaron Booth in the corner of the end zone late in the fourth quarter that not only rescued the Governors, but put them over the top tonight. And so, Lincoln Keenholz grew up a lot 2 weeks ago. He took another big step forward tonight.
Governors outgained the Colonels 381 to 309 on the evening, but Greg, it was 7-6 or 7-0, 7-6, 13-6 for the Colonels. Then it was 20-13, and then it was 27-20, all for Mitchell. The Governors kept finding a way to tie it up, and then finally got one big stop that they needed, and they were able to score to take a 34-27 lead. And again, it was 7-6 at halftime. 34-27 is our final score. That tells you how good these two teams played in the second half and how much fun this game was here tonight.
Well, these were like a couple of punch-drunk fighters that just kept trading blows in the middle of the ring in the second half. I mean, they just kept going back and forth. And just when you thought one team was down and out, a big play pops out, whether it's the Parker Phillips 85-yard touchdown return, the Brock Mosier 60-plus yard return on the ensuing kickoff that he almost took to the house. I mean, this was a really fun second half. It was a great game, but it was just a really fun second half. And I'll tell you what, this Mitchell team has nothing to hang their heads about. I mean, they're going to go home and finish the season 3-7, but they certainly did not show up as a 3-7 team tonight. I mean, this is a team that put everything and laid everything on this Hollister field tonight, and you got to tip your hats. I don't know what Coach Van Overshield and the Mitchell coaching staff did in terms of getting these guys riled up, coming in here with a 6-game losing streak, but they did it. I mean, they packaged it and they sold it, and these young men played their hearts out tonight. So tip of the hat to the Colonels.
And you look at Huron got an upset over Sturgis, so the 5 seed over the 4 seed. That's the only upset in the in 11 AA. But when you looked at this, it was from last year. It was Pierre. It was going to be Yankton and Brookings going into that second and third, or that 2-3 matchup. I mean, it was just those 3 teams. That was all that they're going to have. And the here tonight, it was from 1 through 6, very, very good competition. So as we bring in our players of the game, see who wants to go first. We'll have our quarterback Lincoln Keenholz go first. And all right, Lincoln, that was a heck of a second half. You guys picked out a win, and let's talk about your performance here. You went 15 of 19 for 172 yards. You had, I believe in the second half, just 2 incompletions, one incompletion and interception. Everything else was spot on for catches. Talk about how good this team played in the second half.
Oh my God, I can't even say it. They're incredible. I have to give a lot of it to my offensive line for really stepping up and giving me time in the pocket so I can make my decisions. So,
yeah, you looked like you had a really clean pocket in the second half, and what you did 2 weeks ago, you did a lot in the second half, because when they were dropping back and dropping 7 into coverage, you had some running lanes, and you did a nice job picking those running lanes tonight, especially in the second half, and were able to generate some nice runs and really kind of keep the Mitchell defense off balance in that second half.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What did you see? I mean, what did you see? I mean, as those running lanes began to open up, I mean, did your eyes kind of get big and go, here's my opportunity to maybe get some positive yards?
Yeah. I'm looking at the receivers and whatever, and they're covered. So then I keep my eyes forward. The pocket's closing on me. I keep the eyes forward. Try to get what I can.
Talk about that touchdown run you had where you got to the far side and you made one guy miss and a big spin move and then turned around and went to the middle. What did you see as the play continued to develop, and talk about how you're able to score on that one?
I actually ran into that corner and the receiver that was blocking for me. I ran into them, and then I actually had my player there. And I spun around him, and those guys were still fading this way or fading towards the end zone, so I cut it back and ran it in.
That was a heck of a run.
Thank you.
So just when we didn't think you could top that, then you come out on back-to-back possessions move the team briskly down the field, throwing the ball, and you find this blonde guy to my right over here in the end zone on a couple of 50-50 balls. Talk about what you saw on both of those. Let's talk about the first pass first, the first touchdown pass, and what you saw on that play.
Yeah, I saw the two inside receivers cut in, which took those linebackers away, and Booth went out for a little like go-ish thing, and then I saw that corner was back, or his back was facing towards me, so he didn't know where I was throwing the ball, so I thought I'd just loft it up there to him.
And that was a perfectly placed ball. And the second one, too, you had me fooled because you had the pump fake, and I was looking at Colin Bergerman wondering where the ball was even at. I thought maybe it got tipped, and all of a sudden I see it going through the air, and Booth making another touchdown grab.
Yep.
Again, talk about that play. What did you see to make that happen?
I saw Colin Bergerman. He did his 5-yard out, and I saw that corner suck down on him. So I figured I'd just loft up the Booth again because that safety or whatever had his back towards me. So
yeah, and those are a couple of throws where not only do you have to make a good throw, but you must have a lot of confidence in your receivers to put that ball right where it needs to be and try to put it in their hands because it's not only a tough throw for you, it's a tough catch for these guys.
Yep. Probably 9 out of 10 times I'm going with my receiver on a 50-50 ball.
Now you get a chance against Yankton. They pick up a win against Douglas, so you're going to go back on the road against Yankton. And I know that you guys were focused on this Mitchell game, but right now, as you guys get ready to finish out the week and start next week, you got to be really excited to get a chance to go against that Yankton Buck team again after you guys probably felt like you played your worst game out of the year down there.
Yeah, we can't settle with what we have right now. We got to stay locked in and have a good practice this week and prepare for them. So
yeah, and so as what do you take out of this game tonight? I mean, obviously you're probably on a real high right now, but how do you take that momentum, that good feeling, and just keep it rolling into next week?
I actually have a lot of confidence in my receivers, running backs, tight ends, and myself, so that helps a lot for going into the next game. Also, my offensive line.
I was just going to say, I mean, you talk a little bit about your offensive line tonight because, again, they just stepped up time after time and kept you upright because you never really got any pressure back in the pocket. I mean, the only time you got touched was when you broke through the first level and got into their linebacking core.
Yeah. I can't say how much I really appreciate them blocking for me, especially tonight, giving me time to make my decisions. And, yeah.
Link, congratulations on the win. We'll see you down in Yankton next week for the state semifinal.
Thank you very much.
Lincoln Keenholz of the Pierre Governors. Let's bring in Aaron Booth as he the senior will step up to the plate here for an interview. All right, Aaron. Our first question. Let's talk about the first catch here on the touchdown grab. What you saw coming and how you were able to take that ball away from that that DB.
Just practice. We work on this basically every week. We go down 5-yard line and we basically just run fades back of the end zone. So I just went back to what we were practicing.
Yeah, and you on that first one, you really did go up and just take that ball away from the Mitchell cornerback, and I mean that was just a play where it looked, at least from up here, that you just wanted that ball just that much more than the Mitchell cornerback.
Yeah, my receiving coach Adam Spohr, he always tells us, go up for the ball. It's like a rebound. Go get it. Like, that's all I can say.
And then both touchdown catches. You tie the game up, and then you get your first lead over those two touchdown catches. I mean, for you being a senior, that's got to feel pretty good as the game kind of went on. You're going, I don't want this game to be my last game. I want to continue to win and to make those two big grabs to get yourself into the state semifinal. So is there any way to describe that feeling?
I describe it as like the Kevin Garnett, like, post-game interview. Anything's possible. That's how I describe it.
Okay, so I mean, you've done a lot of really cool things and really good things, whether it be on the football field or the baseball field. Where does this night rank in your athletic career so far?
Definitely top 3, probably number 1. I'd say either this moment or my moment against Douglas, my junior year, for baseball.
Yeah. So again, you get a chance against Yankton next week. How excited are you? One of your 2 losses right now. Obviously, Brookings Huron will play next week, but it's not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed to make the state championship, but you get a chance to avenge that first loss. How exciting are you? How exciting is that to get a chance for that?
Oh, we're very excited. We are very excited. We just want to go out there and have another chance. So,
yeah, there's got to be a little revenge factor. Probably be a little bulletin board material throughout the week. Shouldn't take. I assume it probably won't take too much to get you guys ginned up for next week.
Nope. Just got to set the tone at practice, show the younger guys what it's going to take to beat Yankton. So,
Booth, congratulations on the win. We always joked that I wasn't going to get you back for another interview, but you did so well tonight. I couldn't say no to. We had to have you back.
That's what I was saying. I was saying in my head, I had a great night. John's got to put me on the radio.
Booth, congratulations. We'll see you next week. I can get a hug from you too.
Hey, I got to get one of those too.
Let's bring in the other birthday boy here today. We had Greg Dean on birthday, and here's Coach Nathan Nas. We got to get you back. We talked a lot during baseball between games. Let's talk after a football game. Boy, what a fantastic game here tonight.
That was one of the more fun games that I've gotten to coach in, and this is year 7 for me to get into coach, and it was one of the most fun games that I've gotten to coach in. Just the back and forth and the battle and watching our kids just step up. They're getting big play after big play. It seemed like in that fourth quarter, and our kids were like, okay, we'll get our own.
So I didn't see you, but on the Brock Mosier kickoff return, were you stride for stride with him down the sidelines?
I was. I made sure I had a little bit of a head start, but I told him before the play, I looked at him and I said, I want to get out and run. And so, yeah, I was there when he finally got forced out of bounds, but I definitely had a little bit of a head start. But I need it at this point. I'm getting old now.
I will give you one chance. If you're lying, we do have the game on YouTube, so it will be seen. It's not just you got your guys' film that you can get away with that. It is on YouTube that we can find out if you're telling the truth.
I'll go check it later just to make sure I'm accurate.
So you believe you're right. Okay, I just want to make sure I did give you a chance to kind of maybe to retract that last statement. But your offense here tonight, so the offense for this Pierre Governor team, Lincoln Keenels especially, threw the ball really well, especially in the second half. Only had 2 incompletions, threw for 3 touchdowns in the game. Talk about just the maturity that he has had in this season, being a sophomore, first start at the beginning of the season to now leading this team multiple times to tie the game up and then take the lead.
Yeah, his maturity has been one of the more fun things to watch this season. I know he had some massive shoes to fill following Garrett Stout, and he's played as well as we could have expected him to. He's stepped up. He's embraced that leadership role from the get-go, and kind of in that second half grabbed the reins and just led the team and played extremely well.
So where do you think was the turning point, especially in the fourth quarter for this team? I mean, these were 2 teams that just were trading punches throughout the second half, especially in the fourth quarter. But at some point, where was it in that fourth quarter that you think that Pierre kind of stepped up and took control?
I got to give it to, I think, Booth had a couple great plays. Lincoln had some great plays. McGuire ran the ball well. Our offensive line played physical, but I think Brock's return when, he responded. They went down. Phillips went down for the touchdown and just outrun us. And then Brock, being a freshman, goes out there and responds with his own long return. And I really think that, our guys might have been down a little bit on the sideline. I definitely don't think that they were confident that we're going to come back in it. But I think, him sparking us right after a big play for them just kind of kept the momentum rolling back onto our side.
Yeah, and just pound for pound. I mean, it was just blow for blow with this Mitchell team, and they weren't a 3-7 team. They're not a 3-7 team. They lost the last 7 games, but they're an excellent football team, and they showed it here tonight against you guys. Yeah,
they're a very good team. I know, they went on a skid where they had some losses, and there are some injuries in there, but they stepped up, and our seniors really took over. I know we got Gunnar Gearing and Houston Lundy out there just kind of walking the field right now, back in their street clothes, just soaking in it. This would be the last time that they've ever played on the field. And so those 2 really up front dominated for us tonight.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I mean, as you look out on this field, I mean, both Gehring and Lundy down on a knee, taking in the moment, just literally left everything they could on that field tonight. I mean, and for all the accolades we give to Keenholz and Rasky and Bolwig and Booth tonight, I mean, it's those guys down in the trenches that make it happen.
Yeah, and we go nowhere without those guys up front, and Houston's kind of been that anchor at the center position. Again, filling huge shoes with Gray Zabel even, and he's really stepped up. And him and Gunner have kind of been the silent leaders up front this year. And tonight they've stepped up bigger than they have all season, especially when we needed them.
It'd be a pretty good birthday present for you for this one, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I think this is game 3 that I've gotten to coach in on my birthday with the first win. So it's pretty exciting. That's the only thing I wanted today.
So now you get a chance against Yankton again. I mean, we talked to Link and Aaron about the opportunity as a coaching staff. How excited are you to get another chance at Yankton next Friday?
Extremely excited. I know their coach last time before we played him said Pierre is our Super Bowl. After they came in here last year and we played really well, they said this game is our Super Bowl. And I think our kids, I think they were ready for it last time. I just don't know if they were quite match the energy that Yankton brought, but I definitely know that next Friday they will match the energy that Yankton brings.
Coach, happy birthday. Congratulations
Appreciate
on the win. Did Steele do anything for you on your birthday?
He coached us to a win.
There you go.
He coached us to a win.
There's a good way to talk about their head coach as he is standing right there. Coach Nathan Nas of the Pierre Governor football team, and we bring in the head coach and Coach Steve Steele. All right, you got a chance to take a deep breath and wait here before you got a chance to interview. Your thoughts on this win initially against this Mitchell team?
Man, it's just I'm very proud of our guys for the way that they came back and found a way tonight. And I think I know the camera's looking at me for some reason, but if you were to turn it around here, I mean that's all you need to see right there. I mean that's it's 3 guys out there that just played their last game on Hollister Field, and they're out there soaking it in. That's it's emotional stuff. It's something that we're very proud of here. That we are able to send our seniors out with a win on their last game at Hollister, and I think this is just a really cool moment. That you're seeing a lot of these seniors come out here. I know this doesn't even remotely answer your question, by the way, but I'm just saying. That's what this is all about. These guys that truly left it all out on the field and are reminiscent right now.
In this type of a win for you guys late in this, you didn't lead until the final 4 minutes of this game, and then to see these seniors come out. I mean, that's as a coach gotta say that you can't go in there and even question if they left anything out there on the field, because they did not. They left everything, or they did leave everything out on the field. I mean, there's nothing in that locker room that wasn't that was still could have been played in that game.
No, there wasn't. And I mean that's where I'm very proud of not just these guys that are out here for all that they've done, but for all the young guys. That's a big talk about what we were doing today. It was like, guys, more than likely, even if we win, this is our last game here. So, we've really got to make sure we leave these seniors with a great memory, and what a memory it's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. A 34-27 win for the Pierre Governors, as we're talking with Coach Steve Steele, the Pierre Governor football team.
We talked earlier in the year that coming out of last year, there were different times this year where your ball club faced adversity, and most of the time they responded. I mean, second half and Yankton kind of got away from you. You went toe for toe with Brookings in the second half, but every other time when they had their backs up against the wall, they responded. Here tonight, I mean, as the first half, kind of, I'm gonna call it boring, but it was certainly not an overly exciting first half. But there were any number of times in this second half where they could have laid down, where this team could have laid down and just said, we did what we could and we can't go anymore. But every time they had adversity in their face, they stepped up and responded. And as a coach, I got to think you got to be just immensely proud of how this team did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you've said exactly what it is. I mean, everything that could happen would happen tonight, in a lot of different ways. And and our guys took it all in stride for the most part and just continued to fight on and battle on. I mean, you know, for our guys, I mean, gosh, we felt like we moved the ball every single drive the first half, and I really think we did, but we came up a yard short 2 or 3 times, you know, and that was had the fortitude to continue to drive the full length of the field and then to find a way to punch it in and then kind of really open the floodgates. I mean, that fourth quarter took years off everyone's life. That was probably listening, watching, playing, and everything. I mean, I don't know how many points we scored. Probably, I think we had 6 going in the fourth quarter, didn't we?
I believe so.
It's an honest question.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think it was 13-6 going in the fourth quarter,
Yeah,
and then 35-27 or 30, whatever it was. I mean, wow, that's a lot of points. You know, so I mean, it was just a crazy fourth quarter, but you know, a lot of credit has to go to Mitchell. I mean, they had a phenomenal game plan tonight, and they executed it very well.
Yeah, it was 13-6 at the end of the third quarter, and you know, back in Brookings, you guys had a 4th and goal from around the 2-yard line and got stuffed, and then Brookings scored, and that kind of ultimately was the game at that point. Here tonight, 2 different times, you guys got stuffed on a goal line stand from Mitchell, and again, the adversity of this team and being able to respond from it easily could have laid down and said, well, this is exactly like Brookings, what happened, and we didn't win that game. We're not going to win this game. But resiliency again, and this Pierre team, that doesn't happen. I mean, that has not happened in the last couple of years. On a 4th and short to be stuffed like that multiple times doesn't happen. And you guys were able to work through it, and the team worked through it to pick up the win.
Yeah, you know, I think our best plan from there on was just not to get into 4th and 1 anymore, and to just try and get it all, and not even get close down there. And you know, but I mean, man, I was just the other thing that really stood out to me tonight was just Lincoln Keenholz. I mean, he played so far above his age, and I mean the 2 throws that really stuck out were that 4th and 9 touchdown to Reagan. I mean, there's a very small window there, having the presence to really step up and buy time for him to cross over that linebacker. And then, I mean, just the confidence in your arm to just throw a rope there. I mean, that was a rope. And then, I mean, Reagan has to make a heck of a catch, you know, and hold on to it from getting hit by about 3 dudes. So that one, I mean, that last touchdown to Aaron Booth, I mean, that's not a sophomore throw. I mean, realizing that Booth was on the hash and he had all that room out in the corner and just kind of throwing him and leading him out there to it. And you know, having Booth go out there and be sure hands that he is and bring it in. So, I mean, I was very, very impressed by him today and his ability to just continue to digest the offense and make good throws.
You know, Keenholz had a good game, but you got contributions, and we talked about it in the first half. He found Keenholz had thrown to 5 different receivers in the first half. I think that's what you ended up with was 5 different receivers, and I think 4 of them caught at least 2 balls tonight. I mean, talk about the contributions you got from some guys that, you know, typically don't make the headlines, like the Jack Merquans, the Aaron Booths, you know, a couple of guys who have just been quiet producers for you this year.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those guys, you know, again, they don't get their number called often, you know, so I mean, it's really cool to see them when they do get their opportunity to make the most of it, you know, and I think that's what you saw tonight. And you know, again, that's another thing where you've really got to credit Mitchell. I mean, everyone in their whole world knows that we were going to try to get McGuire the ball and find different ways to do so. And, you know, they did a really good job taking him away, you know, or really limiting him as the game went on. And all of those guys that were out there, you know, I mean, Colin Brueggemann had a really big catch down by the goal line. Jack Merquan had a few really good catches. Aaron Booth, obviously, with the touchdowns. And Reagan, again, had those. Reagan's catches they're all really hard catches. You know, I don't think he has an easy catch. You know, every single one, he's got some guy draped over him like he's wearing a cape. So, I mean, all those guys they're so important to have those contributions because, again, you know, just like when we were playing Brookings and we said, hey, we've got to stop this guy. You know, we're playing Mitchell. We got to stop Parker Phillips. That's what teams are saying about us too.
And you know, we talked about it before in other post games where the defense picked up where the offense was trying to score, just couldn't find, and the defense did again here for the first 3 quarters. Then the offense picked up the slack for the defense when they couldn't get the stops. The offense said, okay, we're going to go down and score, and we're going to give you guys another chance. And one big stop on a quick 3 and out where they had 2 losses to put them in a 4th and long, and then Keenholz getting the interception to seal the win. I mean, as a coach too, you're seeing all facets, and you're seeing the offense step up when they need to, the defense to step up when they need to. And that what makes championship teams.
It is, and that's the other thing about them is they've got to be able to find a way to win these games. You've got to find a way to push through that adversity and come through in the clutch. And our boys did that tonight. It was a lot of fun to watch. And our coaches, we got to give credit to a lot of those guys too for staying the course. And shout out to Brody Gilbertson for doing some quick math on figuring out how many seconds we needed to milk there to be able to kneel and not actually have to run a play.
Yeah.
That was, I think you guys probably knew that's the reason that we weren't under center for our traditional kneel down. Having to snap it back and kind of wait for those guys to come and tackle us. I think our math, we needed to kill about 8 or 10 seconds to be able to just kneel it. So, it was contributions from everybody. It goes all the way up to all the way through the coaching staff, all the way through the sideline. It was a fun night tonight.
Again tonight, for about 90+% of this game, your defense bottled up probably one of the best running backs in South Dakota, and Parker Phillips. He got loose on the second carry of the game for that 35-yard touchdown. He got the kickoff return. He got a reception for a touchdown, I think. But otherwise, your defense really stepped up again tonight. I mean, he was really, they really did a good job on him.
I want to say one thing. He lost 13 yards in total after he scored that touchdown.
Dang. That's okay. We'll live.
I was gonna say, I just wanted to share that too. That
we'll put those down as team rushing yards, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, but how good the defense was. He got loose on that one carry, but then lost 13 yards the rest of the way. How good that defense was.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, I said it's such back. Never mind. I was on a completely different page than you. I thought you were talking about Lincoln there at the end.
No.
My bad. Parker. Yeah.
Talking about Parker.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And that was the other reason they split him out there is because once they started to see that we were bottling them up really big, then that's where they started to get them into that flare pass and in that wheel. I mean, that's a dangerous wheel. I mean, just because he's able to generate so much speed where he's at top speed by the time he turns the corner, and that's just hard for anybody.
All right. So, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say. I mean, there was a couple of times. Your guys, your pass defenders, there was the one time, especially late in the fourth quarter, Rasky was running step for step with him, and not only had him blanketed, but then you had him bracketed with a couple of other defenders. I mean, so it was kind of a night where they hurt you the first time with him, but after that, your defense learned pretty quickly what's going to be coming and made those adjustments.
Yeah, and again, that's just credit to the coaching staff, and obviously the kids out there being able to make it happen. When they were able to burn us, again, that first drive they came out in a whole brand new formations we've never seen. So again, we're trying to adjust on the fly, and then I think that's why again after that first drive you really see our defense settle in because they're really able to see what they're throwing at us and adjust. And I said they did a really good job again keeping the game where it was.
One quick question before we move on to next week. Reagan Bullwig is now the he's got the career receiving touchdown record in 2 years here, and legit 2 years, junior and senior year. No sophomore chance to play as a sophomore. How special has this kid been for you guys?
I mean, that's one of the reasons he's committed to SDSU. I mean, he's a really good athlete. And he's again, I'm very proud of the fact that he's been able to kind of understand that, hey, guys are blanketing me. I'm not going to get the ball every play. There's games where I only get 1 or 2 passes, but he's okay with that. He wants to do what's best for the team, and a lot of times being the decoy is what it is. And the catches he does get to make, like we saw tonight, he's got 3 guys all over the top of him, and he's able to squeeze and shake off some tackles.
Real quick, injuries going into next week. Didn't look like you had anything tonight.
Nope, none so far. Just hopefully we can get through everyone's hearts, come back to normal, and then we should be in good shape.
And then, one injury question. How much voice do you have left, or will you have left tomorrow?
None whatsoever. I said I was hoping that my Fitbit didn't register that I was like, you have been in peak heart rate for the last hour and 45 minutes, which was about how long the last 5 minutes of that game felt. I was like, if we hear sirens, they're probably coming over here. But no. So,
all right, well, next week you get to go to Yankton for the state semifinal, a team that you guys lost to your first game of the season. I've asked the other 3 guys how excited they are, but how excited are you to a chance to avenge that first loss of the season against the Yankton Buck team?
I'm very excited about that. I mean, that's what we want to do. I mean, to be, obviously Douglas would have been nice in the sense that we get to play here, but realistically, we want to go beat those 2 teams that beat us and prove that we're better. So the only way to do that is to go down there and get it done.
Coach, appreciate the time. Congratulations on a hard-fought win. Go get that heart rate down a little bit. Try and sleep tonight. Even with your 2 kids, try and get some sleep. and we'll see you next Friday down in Yankton.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Coach Steve Steele, the Pierre Governor football team, they win it here tonight, 34-27. They did not lead until the final 4 minutes, and what a big win for the Pierre Governors as John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, final thoughts here on the win for this Pierre Governor team.
Well, I know Coach Steele just said that his Fitbit showed that he was in peak heart rate for the last hour and a half, and I think you and I were right there with him because this was a really fun ball game. I mean, I think we've said that the last 3 or 4 weeks that this was a really fun ball game to call, and this one may have topped all of them, especially the second half, especially this fourth quarter. A tip of the hat to the Colonels. They left everything on the field, but I tell you what, this Pierre Governor team, they got punched in the nose a couple of times, and they came back and responded every time. And again, we saw Lincoln Keenholz step forward and have just a really good game in crunch time when this team needed it the most. Aaron Booth steps up with 2 huge catches in the corner of the end zone to first tie the game, and then the game winner with about 4 minutes to go. And I tell you what, you can just kind of go down the list up and down this roster, and you could probably say something good about every young man on this roster tonight.
Absolutely, and what a game! I mean, this is an instant classic, and for the Pierre Governors, as Lincoln Keenholz, he finished with 172 yards. 15 of 19 for 172. McGuire Rask on the ground, 133 yards on 26 carries with a touchdown. Keenholz had threw 3 touchdown passes, 1 to Reagan Bolwig and 2 to Aaron Booth. That Booth first one tied it up and then got the lead and pick up the win for the Pierre Governors here tonight, who now take on Yankton next Friday down in Yankton. Would assume we'll probably have a 7 o'clock start time for that one, but we will wait until the official word from Athletic Director Brian Mosier and on the Activity Association website. You are listening to KCCR Pierre Riverfront Broadcasting Station as we are past the 10 o'clock hour. We still got Thursday Night Football to get to you here. We're in the fourth quarter of the Falcons and the Panthers game. We'll get that out to you here in just a little bit, but you can't say enough about how fun this game was. And, a 13-6 lead for Mitchell after the third quarter, and the Governors win 34-27 here tonight.
Yeah, and again, if you were not able to join us in person, the game is archived on YouTube under KCCR Sports. This will be one that I think a lot of these young men, their families, a lot of Pierre Governor football fans are probably going to go back and dial up multiple times over the next week, next month, next couple of years, because this was just a fun one. There's no other two ways to describe it.
And we want to say thanks to Jen Hanna back at the station as she's had to deal with our voices going very high and breaking the sound barrier probably a couple of times over back at the KCCR studios. But thanks to her, Greg Dean to my left again. Happy birthday, Greg! And it was a fun birthday present for you, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, doesn't get a whole lot better than this. So thank you, Governors. Fun night all the way around.
Next Friday, they take on Yankton, the state semifinal. We'll have it for you right here on today's KCCR, KCCR.com. As, again, final score here. The Governors, they win 34-27, and they advance to the state semifinals as we say good night from Hollister Fields.